Actually,
Fresh.
okay, so I'm actually getting the adequate amount of bit up this round. Okay, so it just turns out me trying to touch
You actually
anything
showed up.
Rocket League related
It's killing
is just
killing your signal.
it's just nuking my bandwidth here.
Okay, take a look.
All right, let's see how the video quality is coming out here. Ready?
All right. Looks like everything's a-okay. And it actually showed up for once.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. All right.
You want to go straight into it, and you want to wait for a few people to jump on in? People in the chat to come say hi.
Zero
There's
Mancer.
Zero Mancer with a hell yeah.
All right, is it actually it's working for you guys? Okay, I've got solid. Oh, hey, Corbin in Japan, how you doing, man?
And there's Corbin. Hey, what's up, man? He's in Japan.
Back, Jeremy.
Not this fucking guy.
Right?
You love it, Jeremy. You know you love it.
Dude, it's pretty awesome. Freaking Jeremy, he was setting up, getting Voyager Elite Force working. I'm pretty excited. I need to actually coordinate that with the community and get like a giant deathmatch going.
Is that a Star Trek PC game?
It's a Star Trek Quake 3 PC game. So it's just like a shooter, but Voyager themed Star Trek.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard talks of it, but yes, Blazing Lasers, Kanye West's favorite game of a generation.
Yeah, because the
Corbin eating in Japan. I guess somebody's mom sat on a rainbow, eating some Skittles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna drink for a minute and just enjoy this.
You just enjoy it, man.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So my wife is gonna cut my hair tomorrow because all the barber shops are closed, even the ones on base.
Dude, when are you gonna join the club? Join the Baldy Club.
Well,
just shave it off.
If she messes it up,
That is.
I'm gonna tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be a fun experiment.
Corbin, yes, it's me. It is indeed me.
Yeah, my problem. I just look so angry with a shaved head. Like, I mean, like you got
We
got a nice symmetry to your head, man. Like I got this giant head and resting bitch face.
You've got the jar head. It's great. No one's gonna fuck with you. No drama shall come to your channel once they see you with your bald head.
God, all my neighbors know I'm in the army too, so they're gonna get worried when they see me without hair, I think.
As long as you don't put swastikas on your chest.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
And start curb stomping people in the yard. I think you'll be okay.
There's a new guy in my company that sounds exactly like you, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, it might be me. I may have moved over to Kansai.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing was, so last night I tried to even do, like, I was like, all right, I just want to stream something PC because I didn't bring any game consoles downstairs. And I was like, and so I tried to set up like Duke Nukem Forever because I'm like, that's a garbage game. Why not? Let's play that. And I couldn't even get that to go. Like my bandwidth was so garbage. It was weird.
That was a cause of a lot of drama.
Oh god, I was so mad.
But you did, soup up your garage, right?
Well, yeah. So the funny thing was, I was up in the ceiling of my garage because I have an extended bay, and so on the very front of my house, there's like a big awning, and up there, it's basically this hollow space above the garage. And so I was up there, and I was like looking because like I have this added bay, and it has its own like extra roof section on top of it. And there's like no clear pathway over to that area because I was hoping to just run the Cat 5 all the way through the ceiling and then do a drop plate in the ceiling. And what I discovered was there was a like 12-inch by 12-inch hole that I could crawl on my stomach to get over to.
Ooh.
And so I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, and it's down like a really narrow channel too, so I'm like, interesting. So I was like, I bet I could fit if I like put my arms up and crawled through it like a person going cave exploring. And I told my wife, and I was like, hey, if I start screaming, call the fire department. But
either you're stuck or you found something you weren't supposed to find.
Yeah, it was. Oh god, yeah. But no, it's funny because it's like there's a ton of freaking room above this section of the garage, but there's no way to get over there because it's like a narrow channel. So I got down there, I got my arms through, and I got like my first shoulder kind of through, and then it was like pinching into my ribs, and I'm like, nope, this ain't happening. And so I had to like shimmy back out because like once I got to the other side, there was no way in hell I was gonna be able to get back in.
It's like it kind of reminds me of what is that? What is it called? That Quantic Dream game, the Heavy Rain.
Oh yeah, the
You remember
freaking
that? Fucking, you get a squeeze through,
yeah,
you find dead bodies and shit.
yeah, you're crawling through the glass covered freaking little tunnels.
Ugh.
Oh god, that was a great segment. That was pretty awesome.
Pretty good. Hey, Corbin in Japan. Hey, tell Joe from New York, Yoroshiku. We got 7 Beat of Doom in here.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got
what's
10
up, Seven?
people watching now. Sweet. Well, I'm glad you didn't get stuck in between your
Yeah, that would
floorboards
that
or whatever the hell.
it's like a medium between my second story and my first.
Yeah, the place between the floors.
Mm-hmm.
It's where we send the ex-wives.
Yeah, but I was sitting there and I'm like, I bet I could cut through this panel and make it into that area. I was out there looking at it. I'm like, I could do it because like there's like so like it's like there's this one thing where like it's funny because like the roof continues on even though it actually doesn't. It's not part of the. It doesn't. It's not part of the roof. It's like just. It's like they left the roof in there even though they built the add-on over it. So I'm like, why is that there? I don't know, it's just goofy. So I'm like, I bet I could chop a hole big enough for me to travel through there and do a drop thing in the ceiling or something.
Okay. See, 7 Beatles mentioning Picard. Are you gonna talk about Picard again? Or
It's
no,
Blazing
no
Magic.
more.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no,
God, I could
Picard.
bitch about Picard for days.
You could do the new series, The Bitch and Play. I want to get a bitch about today. It's a fucking Picard. I got this Kurtzman guy, this little fuck who never wrote anything good in his life.
Let me tell you
The greatest
about.
character in Star Trek.
Let me tell you
Fuck him.
about fucking Alex Kurtzman. This guy not only. No, let's keep being positive tonight. Not only did he write the movie The Mummy in the Dark Universe reboot, but he directed and produced.
How embarrassing.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
son.
New York kind of sucks right now. Yeah, whew. Yeah, New York. I was saying, man, once it hits New York, it's gonna be crazy. Unfortunately, it blew up. But at least people are getting tested, you know.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of places, I think where I live, like basically nobody's getting tested. There was a freak out the other day. I got called like 5 times in the morning, like at 6 a.m. in the morning. Where have you been? And blah, blah, blah. There's in the news that some foreigner got the virus at this bar. I'm like, I have not been. Do you know this person? I don't know who this person is. So
Oh, you think just because I'm half American, I know every foreigner in Japan?
I know. Yeah, you're right. I was lying to you the whole time. I was hanging out at the bar. Actually, I'm the one who gave this person the virus. Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, people on the base where I work, some people had it, and I'm like, ah, great.
See, Jeremy, is this Blazing Lasers or This Old House? It's that's a new game.
Oh, for some reason I thought
Blazing Lasers or This Old House?
God, I totally misread that when I looked over. That's funny.
That's funny.
I thought it was. God, it should be. Is there a Bob Vila This Old House?
That is the name of the show.
Yeah. I'd play that game.
Video games or home improvement? What do you think? Next thing we're gonna put up on the screen. That's definitely Bob Vila. No, sir, that is Left 4 Dead 2. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. It was close, though. You understand why I'd make that mistake.
I said, Blazing Light, this is a pretty fancy, like, interesting shmup. Like, it has a lot of the, like, great elements of, like, Raid and Trad.
It is compile, so...
Oh, the same people?
Not different people, but, like, just super skilled at, like, these kind of first-person,
gotcha.
not first-person, shooting games, vertical scrolling.
Yeah.
It's Colin Swinburne.
Hey, Colin, what's up, man? How you doing?
He's healthy. Y'all miss me, no, but we will miss you if you get sick. So don't get sick. Stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, stay healthy. Gargle, wash your hands, do whatever the fuck you have to do.
Oh God. Okay. No.
Wear your mask. Wear your beards.
Yes, Jeremy. This is Composite going through that. I can never say it. Kiro. I didn't say it bad.
Oh, that thing that he sent you.
Yeah. It's the Composite S-Video converter to component. Yeah, it freaking looks great.
Yeah, looking all right, looking smooth. But you know, I have an RGB modded PC engine, so
Oh.
this is like, you know, you're like
I'm
basically
playing.
your peasant.
Well, I'm playing on the North American Classic console, which was a
Yeah,
unfortunate epic failure.
the North American Classic.
I don't know. It's kind of
Yep.
it's been really fascinating. Like I feel really bad for the TurboGrafx after like doing all the research I was doing writing that paper, or not writing the
Oh
paper,
yeah,
but
that's
writing the
right.
video. Like, God,
When that coming up?
it's about 9, almost 10 pages, and I still have a big thing I want to add about how apparently NEC was trying to encourage arcade manufacturers to get in on it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a big thing where they had basically teamed up with United Artists, and they were producing these basically PC Engine slash TurboGrafx 16 arcade cabinet conversion kits that you could buy. And so like you basically do that, and it actually had a thing where you could literally just plug the back of the console into the wire harness using the elaborate plug system on the back of the PC Engine,
Mm-hmm.
and it would basically just click right in. It was kind of nuts.
Huh.
And so it would let you just turn any game cabinet into whatever TurboGrafx game you wanted it to be.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
So it was pretty interesting.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
So many, like, you know, shattered dreams on the console, the video games industry back then.
Oh yeah,
Like
honest,
kind of very unique concepts that just never came to life.
It's a unique idea, and I think the big spread I found about it was I don't know. I feel like it was very much just like NEC propaganda, like trying to push the idea of it. What did Colin say? I'll try and stay in health. I still need to drink with you and Jimmy, and I still need to fight. You do, Colin. We need to fight.
Yeah, I might not. You might not be able to drink. You can drink next to me, but I might be done drinking, Colin. Might be quitting it.
You'll probably feel better.
I'm drinking. Well, I'm still drinking soda, so it's like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still gonna get fucked up on
Yeah.
soda pops, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to get high on life.
Sody pops.
Sody paps, you know.
You can call it pop.
Stay away.
Pop like they do.
Yeah,
in
go
freaking,
with pop. Stay away from pap smears. That's my philosophy.
So I'm thinking
How I'm
about getting
staying
it.
healthy,
That's
guys.
right. Yeah, I kind of actually want to get one too, just because they're. I don't know. I find the mini systems are interesting. I think the TurboGrafx one will probably be easier to buy than some of the other ones, respectively.
I'm surprised so many people got that shit on Amazon. I tried to buy one physically in person when it came out, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well-
I called up some of my favorite gaming stores too, and they're like, "We have no idea when this is coming out." Like, what? But you could buy it on Amazon. So
Well, yeah, because
I don't know if
there's
that's
the Japanese one, right? The PC Engine. That one was an Amazon exclusive, I thought, for a bit.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I know like the TurboGrafx 16 for the United States, that mini, I feel like that one is delayed for the time being.
I think so.
Because the factories in
Yeah.
China and all their shit down.
Oh, god dang! I was thinking like, man, everybody's buying up these PC Engine minis because I couldn't find them anywhere, and I was like, oh, and I was like, I just don't want to go on Amazon. Okay, I know it's easier and it's cheaper, but I'm like, I'm gonna try to support some of these shops here, but okay, well, Amazon has the fucking they cornered it.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be buying it anytime soon. Then.
Well, you won't be getting my business. Good day, sir. Ah, that thing fired homing missiles out of a cannon slot.
You know what I did do though? Instead of buying the TurboGrafx or whatever the PC Engine Mini on Amazon, I put like I bought some gift cards, about like $100 something worth of gift cards. I ended up buying one of these little home weight things because I'm not going to the gym anymore because of whatever stuff.
Yeah.
My employer doesn't want me going, so I'm trying to be good. So I spent like $120 on weights.
You know, that's
and
there are worse things to
like,
spend
why
money
not?
on. Yeah. Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
The funny thing for the base gym is closed down. All the gyms are closed down. But I got evicted from the building I was in on base. So like, yeah, we got contractors coming in and they're ahead of schedule, so we need you out of this office in 10 days. I'm like, oh god. So I got that all coordinated. I got moved and moved all my equipment. So I'm in this like it's like a recruiter place basically. And so I'm in the half of the building that's been abandoned for like 20, or no, it's not abandoned, but it used to belong to the university. And they never used it. And there's this big drill hole in there with a bunch of like weights and like equipment. So I'm like, all right. And and nobody knows about this thing, so I'm like, ah, sweet. So I set it up, and I've been using it for getting ready for the Army's new PT test, basically, which is awful.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's essentially they're going from a traditional 3-event PT test where it used to be like just push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run, to where it's now like 7 events. And so like you gotta do.
What do they say? Drop down and give me 1.5.
No, so here's what it is. Like you have one event is going to be the leg lift where you get on a pull-up bar, which the space I'm in has a pull-up bar. So I'm like, sweet. And then you lower your body, and then you bring your knees up, and then basically flex your elbows, and you kind of bring your knees to your elbows. It's a really irritating workout, but yeah. And then they have a medicine ball throw where you have to throw a medicine ball behind you, like 8.5 feet just to meet the bare minimum, and then 12.5 to be a rock star. But then they have a...
You get that 13.5 then.
Well, I was doing it in there, and I was hitting 8.5 no problem, and that was only because I was like paranoid I was going to put the medicine ball through the ceiling tiles. So
That'd be great. Well, that would be like, well, I guess the gig is up, jig is up.
Yeah, like they're on to me.
They're on to me.
They know I fucked this place up. So,
what was that? Just be quiet. Just close your eyes. They can't see you.
Yeah, pretty much. So like, so I was in there doing that. So I was hitting 8.5, and that was me just wussing out because I didn't want to put it through the ceiling because I know I can throw it way further. But then the next event is a deadlift where you have to lift. What is it? I think it's like 200, 280 or something like that to max it out.
Okay,
But
got that.
yeah, so you have to toss
Unless
it.
I got real
Yeah,
sore calves
yeah,
that day or something.
yeah, Jeremy, it's ridiculous. It's like CrossFitters have invaded the army. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Oh,
And then they
that's
have
what-
and then they
They
have
don't have like a bench press or anything like that.
no,
It's just like
no bench press. It's but the next thing it's a sprint, drag, and then a side run, and then another sprint. So you sprint down 25 meters, you come back, grab a 90-pound sled, drag it 25 meters, drag it back, then you sprint down doing a sideways lateral. That's where you just run sideways. It's just really dumb.
that sounds terrible.
And then I'm like, this is great.
Anything with cardio for me, I'm like, I could walk and ride bike, but
Yeah.
if that's like
It'll get
sprint,
easier in a few more
fuck
years.
that.
So, Zeromancer, there's no more age category safety net on this PT test. It's all job MOS based. So it's awful. Like it is the dumbest thing the Army's done in a long time. So we'll see how it goes. And I don't mind getting if anyone ever like reports me to my command staff for saying this PT test is dumb, I don't mind defending myself and saying how dumb it is. I couldn't deadlift 280. I maxed out at 2. Well, it's just like you use one of the hex bars and you just lift. It's freaking dumb. But like, so I was able to do it. I set up this whole space as a giant drill hall, so I set it up and did the sled for 25 meters and all that, and I managed to do that all in like a minute 50. So I was pretty happy about that because like that's like 85% for the test score. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, so you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Just keep your little secret area safe. Don't let any of these plebs.
Yeah. Let's see, is the Army overmanned? The Navy? You know, honestly, what I find really intriguing is the Army has done stuff like this in the past to get rid of people. Like they did it during the recession, so they were very much filled to capacity. And so, since we're kind of going into another one, I'm wondering if maybe this will be utilized in that capacity. But the National Guard, the organization I'm in, is constantly undermanned. So I don't think they're going to have the same stringent type of requirements. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. It's kind of interesting. I don't know, because we've been doing the other tests since like 1982, so it's kind of weird that we're going to this thing now.
Yeah, changing times, man. No army for old men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. So you bought all these weights? Have they shown up yet?
Oh yeah, they showed up, and I felt bad for the guy who had to carry them.
Oh
He
no!
was like struggling, holding it. They're pretty heavy. Like, yeah, I know.
I bet he had great calves though.
Yeah, he's running around everywhere. You know, even now, ain't no quarantines or anything like that. It's suggested quarantines.
Yeah, it's a
I
280
guess
pound.
280 pounds or a kilogram. Yeah, 280 kg.
It's pounds. It's pounds. It's pounds.
Yeah, yeah. The WWF.
The funny thing, even though
Tryout.
even though the Army does metrics for distance, they're like, nah, it's pounds. it's funny.
Could you imagine if it was 280 kg and get up to like 250 kg? Like, oh, you pussy. Oh.
Yeah, what is the what is the conversion to a kilo, like to a pound? I don't know that one off the top of my head.
It's like 2.2 something like that, I think. Or...
Oh God. Oh dear.
So it's like if you had like like basically like 20 kg would be like 45 pounds.
Okay. Oh my God, that'd be awful.
Have I rewatched Good Burger? I didn't even know the Good Burger came out again.
Wait, it came out again? I think
I
I still have that orange VHS tape somewhere.
Oh, I know, right? He's rewatching the original movie.
Oh, dude.
So many racial and sexual jokes that wouldn't fly in PG. Oh, I'm sure. Like, everything's like that now.
Oh, freaking, I'm assuming you've seen Mechagodzilla vs. Godzilla, right? That original classic.
I've not actually seen the movie, but...
Okay, but so I have the old English dub.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I have it on VHS, and my daughter, I was talking to her because she's been doing this thing recently where she's like, I'm scared of tigers, whatever, and so I have like all my old Godzilla toys are in a room with her. And I'm like telling her, I'm like, don't worry, Mechagodzilla's on the bed here, he'll kick the shit out of basically any monster that gets on the bed, you're fine. Then I got Godzilla on top of the dresser over here, don't worry. He's got the first line. And so it's kind of funny like that. And then my daughter was being all like, I'm like, hey, tell you what, if you're really good and you go to bed, tomorrow I'll set up some stuff and we can watch Godzilla and Mechagodzilla fight each other. And she was like, the most excited look on her face I'd seen in a while.
Good.
And the funny thing is, like, Mechagodzilla vs. Godzilla is kind of a weird movie. Like, they only really fight for like maybe 20 minutes of the entire 80-minute runtime. So I'm like, all right, but like, and then it's all these other really weird story concepts about them trying to wake up King Caesar, which is another monster from Okinawa. But
okay.
But it had these weird like ape monsters who were like an alien race or whatever. I don't even know how it goes to the original Japanese, but
I'm not up on my Godzillas.
But it's just a goofy movie though. So my daughter was just all about it though. Like usually she doesn't sit still for very long. There's very few things she'll sit still, but she like sat through the entire movie.
She was just intrigued. Well, good.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job forcing your nerd culture on her.
I know,
Dad.
right?
Fuck. What the hell's wrong? Just let her live her life.
I'm like, you're gonna make some rich programmer so happy in the future. No. I'm gonna push the crap and really encourage her to get into like STEM and those things.
That's good, yeah. Encourage is the key word too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she just wants to be an airhead, okay? Maybe she wants to go to the mall.
Hey, Smeal, what's up,
hang out.
Who likes orange sodas? Oh, I love orange soda once in a while.
Who likes orange sodas?
Bad guys in Good Burger tried to hire a hooker to... Oh, God, I forgot about that.
That's awesome. I thought that and like Harriet and the Spy and all these Nickelodeon movies. I fucking don't remember any of them. I just remember the advertising for them.
Remember Harriet the Spy?
Godzilla and Gas.
Remember that actress went to she was in Eurotrip? Yeah, the Hot Twin.
She was in Eurotrip, and I think she was also on Buffy later on.
Oh yeah.
Michelle Trachtenberg or something like that. And she was also the Ice Princess. I don't know why this is coming out. I'm not even drinking.
Ice
I got
Princess?
All this fucking.
In what?
She's like a skater or something. I think.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay. God, yeah, she has
not. Cute, so.
I thought same here. Had a liked her in Eurotrip. God, she hasn't done anything in a while though.
Not really.
Oh yeah, she wasn't.
I was young. No, I always liked I guess like Ellen, but what's her name was in Pete and Pete, who's sick now. What's her name? Oh fuck, the girl in Hellboy, Selma Blair.
Oh, her, yeah.
She was in like one episode.
She has MS or something like that, right? That's kind of like why she hasn't done anything. Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
All these chicks that I had crushes on when I was a kid, they're all like getting sick. Like Shannon Doherty is like sick, isn't she?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Rosie O'Donnell was in Harriet the Spy. That's back when Rosie O'Donnell still had that like real kid-friendly.
Oh yeah.
Cutie patootie. I love Tom Cruise because I'm not secretly gay and he's not secretly gay, and it benefits us being all lovey-dovey in public.
Wait, Rosie O'Donnell and Tom Cruise dated?
No, but she always used to gush about him. He's like, who's that cutie patootie? And she was like this real family-friendly mom type, and then she went back to her white trash roots, which I loved. She was just like super, like, what would they say, like a Karen? But a Karen kick your ass. Like she used to be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have to say, like, Blazing Lasers, for a title that came out so early in, like, shmup home console. Well, I guess, I don't know, I feel like this game is just intense in comparison to, like, Raid and Trad and other ones. Like, oh, God.
yeah, it's just that Compile, what is it, Fushino or something like that? One of the guys who was the founders of Compile, he just was like he was so dedicated to making sure everything worked properly. This is why all these games, like, they run so well, even on the MSX. Like, those games they just run really well compared to other shmups. Like, Konami had a lot of shmups on MSX, and they play like MSX games. They're real jerky and everything, and they have weird graphical glitches. But yeah, the guy was just super dedicated. And when I was talking to Munitani about it, he just would fucking, he's very autistic about it. I mean, that makes his sweat possible. He was like a true otaku, as they say.
You gotta know what you love.
Yeah. A Nickelodeon movie had a subplot involving a hooker in a PG Kids movie. Let that sink in. It sunk in. That was a different time.
Remember how hot Amanda Bynes used to be?
Oh, God. Well, I was a little bit too old for her. Well, when she came out. You know what? She's a very pretty girl. But look what the fuck happened.
Oh, God, yeah. She lost her mind.
That's almost like the worst. If Child Star was a choose your own adventure, it would be the worst path.
It's like, oh, you shouldn't have taken your hands off the page there. You could have gone back. What are you doing?
Oh, damn it. You went to the wrong page.
Yeah, like her and Lindsay Lohan didn't quite make it.
Oh, God. You know what I was watching the other day? That old SNL skit with Harry Potter and Lindsay Lohan with Hermione with big boobs. I was like, she was such a pretty girl. And, oof.
Lots of cocaine will do
Funny
that.
skit, by the way.
I have no idea who... I forgot, Jeremy Dixon has a pop culture cutoff of 1993.
What's that?
Jeremy Dixon, fun fact, he has a pop culture cutoff of 1995. Because
he was an old man before he was an old man.
Yeah. Because for whatever reason, but the only thing that gets past that filter is Casper Van Dien in Starship Troopers, the only person he knew. I'm like, man, what a world.
It's like, he's going to be like Encino Man, except from 1993. You found a guy from 1993.
What year is it? Well, what was the fucking... South Park had that episode where that one guy got trapped in ice, but he was from 1993, so he only knew, like, Ace of Base. I
thought... Oh, yeah, they sent him back to...
Cleveland, right? Just Cleveland's
It was Des Moines, Iowa? Or
that's what it was. Some city that's perpetually 7 years behind or something like that.
Yeah.
That was
oh, that's funny. There's also that great episode where Cartman freezes himself to get the Nintendo Wii.
Oh, God, yeah. It's got motion controls, asshole. That's futuristic.
That was such an amazing... that show's... I know, I haven't watched the last season. I need to catch up on it, but... That show's consistently been good. It's actually, I always think it keeps getting better.
I just remembered freaking...
Disagree.
Have you watched Future Man on Hulu?
Yeah,
you probably haven't seen that yet.
Future Man?
Yeah, Future Man.
Nah, what is that?
So it's basically this show that's kind of I'll give you a basic synopsis. This guy, he's been like heavily invested in a weird Call of Duty type game that nobody can get past the last level, and he's like committed to trying to do it.
This is what is that? The Ready Player 2? Is what this is?
No, it's more like it's kind of a play on like the Last Starfighter and stuff like that. So like basically like he beats the level and he's like so excited, and then all of a sudden these time travelers show up in his room, and they're like, we knew you could do it. We need your help. We set this game back in time to recruit the best person to help us fight the whatever the future. And it's this whole elaborate thing. And he's like, wait, you guys Last Starfighter? They're like, what are you talking about? Because like the future is just a complete crap hole basically. So it just gets crazier from there. And it's just like, in the second season, it gets even more nuts because they end up having to make a bunch of copies of themselves.
Is this on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
What's that?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's such a fun, weird show. Like in terms of like just having really fun with the concept of time travel and like just playing with future ideas. And one of the guys he basically ends up like saving him, but he gets trapped in the 1980s. and so he has this like gigantic just coke party the entire time. It's really funny.
So this is centered towards more like an adult
Oh,
audience.
it's very, very adult.
Okay,
Yeah, very adult.
I gotcha. I thought it might have been like one of these like, well, anybody can watch, but it sounds like it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
adult.
it's very adult. It's just like so basically he gets trapped. You trapped in the past in the '80s and all these things. It's really funny. So basically they link up with him later eventually, and then they end up having all these like funny things where he has all these just really he's still stuck in the '80s, so he just makes a bunch of '80s references all the time. But it's like I don't know, it's clever. I really enjoyed the program.
Yeah, if ever have a chance, I'll take a look.
Yeah,
take a look.
yeah, definitely.
Pretty good.
I highly recommend it.
Kevin Ball is asking, what's about Jimmy's love cursing Starless Madness? Apparently, whoever I have a crush on gets cursed to a terrible life. Hey, here's the thing, though. I hate to admit this, but when I was a kid, I had a crush on Hillary Clinton, and I'm sorry, guys, I failed. It didn't work on her. We could have saved ourselves so much trouble over the years if it had worked on her, but she was immune.
Well, I mean, like, she did lose to Donald Trump, so I mean, that's a.
Well, she's still around though. She's still ruining everything.
Oh God, yeah.
And I could have saved people. I could have saved lives.
I could have done something. Oh, I could have done something more.
No, damn it.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy says Iowa. Yeah.
iOS. So I don't know if he's saying like Iowa, yes, I love it because it's stuck in 1993, or is like he's actually seen that South Park episode. So which one is it? Are you past the 93 border, or?
No, actually, the only time I've been to Iowa was when I was getting gas on the way home from Missouri, and they were like the only state that had these really creepy gas stations where you could buy these really, really, really creepy porcelain Native American baby doll things that were like 3 feet tall. And then, but then they also sold what they called were tire beaters, which is basically a pipe filled with lead that you can buy.
And then it's his tire, but like wife was scratched out for some reason. God. Like, oh, these are #1 sellers. You gotta beat your tire.
But I can tell you that Wyoming is the place Amazon dumps anything they can't sell. At their gas stations. It was really odd. They're like, hey, do you want to buy a RC car that turns into a helicopter? I'm like, well, that's kind of cool, but really dumb at the same time.
How about this composite to HDMI or RGB to HDMI box?
God, that'd be...
SCART to HDMI?
I'm
Anybody?
like, oh, you got me.
All right, I'll buy 10 of those. $30, I could buy one Framemeister or 10 of those.
Oh, man.
Jennifer Lovett is still sane, I think. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, Jennifer Lovett, yeah,
she's
still sane. God, so I know the engine... Oh, yeah, so basically I knew the Marines, they were going to go do some training, and I was like, cool, they're going to blow some stuff up. I bet I can coordinate with them. And then the Marines were like, yeah, we're canceling everything. We're not doing anything during this stuff. I'm like, well, okay. That's not happening. Because I'm trying to coordinate that thing with Bob about blowing up a upscaler.
Yeah, right. I've been waiting my whole life for that.
Yeah, it'll be great. God, the Air Force were supposed to have dropped a JDAM like 3 months ago, but that never happened.
I'll say, by the way, you're doing pretty well at this game, huh?
Not really. I keep dying at the last boss, but yeah.
Well, I mean, better than I expected. You haven't had like the alcohol, so.
I've been drinking since about 3 today, so.
Never mind. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna refill my drink right now. If you don't mind entertaining the chat, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna get a drink in a second too.
Yeah,
Coke or Pepsi.
All right, 1 sec, guys. Right back.
Go blow stuff up now. No, I gotta stretch a little bit. No, we do not blow shit up now. Now. Ian's gonna have to re-wet the tongue here. Take that as you like. But anyways, how's everybody doing? Talking about Jennifer Love Hewitt in the chat. Damn, she was so pretty. I can't blow shit up, man. I'm a pacifist. I can roll shit up though. Last night was a massive fail for the stream. Inigo, I heard that he couldn't get Rocket League or something to work, but he did hardwire his I guess his internet connection down to his garage. But you know what's fucked up? Because he tried to work on it earlier, and he's still getting shitty signal. So it's just Rocket League or whatever. It's not compatible with Ian's lifestyle now. Inigo, yeah, she is still hot. A lot of these, like I was looking at Elizabeth Hurley the other day. I was like, damn. But I might have cursed her because I had a big crush on her, and it looks like she's kind of a little bit too close to her son, but she's still very beautiful.
Oh, wait, who'd you curse? Yeah. Who's the other person that cursed?
I was talking about Elizabeth Hurley, it's like because Inigo was saying that Jennifer Love Hewitt's still hot. I was like, yes, but Elizabeth Hurley is still super hot. But I think I cursed her. And now she look. It seems by all appearances she might have an inappropriate relationship with her son. I don't know. Just the vibes I get from some of the body language and everything. And I don't watch this mother-son porn, so it's not that. Even though I've started some.
What a weird. Why have I been cursed with this weird thing?
Anyone? It's like Rogue from X-Men. You know, she kisses people, she sucks out their life.
So yeah, man, I have to say, like,
I have an impure thought about somebody, and they end up being a drug addict.
You're like, oh, damn it! What an odd power. Hey, what's up, man? Let's see here. I have to say, I'm really happy freaking Zero Match sent me this game.
Jeremy Dixon. I know some of these names, but don't know what they are famous for. Well, these are like some names that you should know, because a lot of these people were around in '93. But this is back when people who are famous were famous for having talent. Of varying degrees, but it's not like nowadays where, I'm like an influencer. Oh, fuck me.
Hey, Sam Fisher, how you doing, man? You need to kill it. Yeah.
What's up, Ian? Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Sam.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked Blazing Lasers wasn't the pack-in for this console. This game's freaking great. But no, they went with Keith Courage. That's
Well, Keith Courage, yeah. That was the launch game, the big game that was supposed to change it. You know what's weird though? That's just like a shitty licensed game in Japan.
Well, here's the funny thing. So like I've been like the more I research about it, and what I found out was that basically they had access to R-Type. They could have done that as a pack-in, and like and they had access like this, but they're like, nah, let's go with Keith Courage. And like, well, what's your justification? They're like, it scored better with boys and girls. With boys and girls.
And girls. Oh, girls ruining everything.
No, it was really odd because I'm like Keith Courage is not a good game. I'm like, God.
Nope. No. It's serviceable.
Yeah,
but
and
if
then
you're gonna launch a system.
God, what's the guy's name? It's like Keith Schaefer. I can never say the guy's last name right, but like basically, Keith. He was the NEC basically project manager over the TurboGrafx, basically. So like they named it after him as like brownie points, and so that kind of like helped the game get picked to be the freaking pack-in. So it's just nuts.
Man. That's
it's
so
nuts.
weird. It's NEC, the US side of things. They really messed up big time. How did you screw up the PC Engine? Because even in Japan, with all the good shit coming around, like, by other companies like Sega and Nintendo, I think they probably did better than Sega during the era.
No, yeah, in Japan, yeah, they were the number 2.
And yeah, so it's crazy when you think about how successful they were in Japan. I mean, people say that about stuff like the Saturn, but like that's a little bit different. The Mega Drive never really sold that well in Japan, but people loved it. Like had a hardcore following, but I guess you had that hardcore following in the States, but.
But I mean, you had a hardcore following for the TurboGrafx in the States. But the funny thing was, you had I think there might have been more people dedicated to just the PC Engine in the States that were just importing it themselves.
Yeah, it seems like, look at like Saru, right? And like he had all these PC Engine magazines and shit back in the day, and look at like John, Happy Console Gamer. Yeah. Kind of the same thing. It was kind of this weird, like, if you liked anime, you probably like the PC Engine.
It's absolutely fascinating. It seems like this. The TurboGrafx is like this amazing story of you have all the cards for a winning deck, but you just don't know how to play them.
Oh, that's a pretty. You should put that in your video if you haven't.
Yeah,
is that on your script? Is that in your script?
No, I don't know. Mine's a little floofier.
Yeah.
Mine, I was like the epitaph to success or something like that. I'm actually playing with it still.
Stop appealing to these fucking hipsters. Go to the common man. It's like having a great hand of cards, but not knowing how to play them.
Yeah. It's like you got the fucking blue-eyed dragon here, and then you got fucking all the pieces to crack out to destroy it here in Yu-Gi-Oh, and you just don't know what to do with them.
Okay, now you're going a little bit too far.
I have no idea. I just remember watching that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh that one time, and I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck's going on in this game. But
Holland, I guess, kicked the influencer out of his hotel.
Ooh.
or at least he told him to fuck off. Like, fuck off, mate.
You're my hero, Colin.
Good. I'm an influencer. Can I get like a free room? I hate these fucking people. Keith Saber in NAC zones. Oh god.
That should be in the script. Yeah, it's
Keith, no courage.
But no, it's basically it's the best way to describe it is like the TurboGrafx had all the perfect pieces. Like it had a winning piece of hardware that had already been manufactured in Japan, so it was proven successful. And they just NEC in the United States, for whatever reason, they weren't. Granted, they wanted to get the product to market, but they didn't have a fire under their ass to get it like out the door as quickly as they needed to. But the funny thing was, like, in their eyes, though, their main competitor would have been the NES. So they really weren't even thinking about the Genesis in the United States. Well, yeah, they weren't even thinking about the Genesis, which was basically coming out almost the same month, a little bit earlier than them, and they didn't even realize it. Well, actually, no, technically, I think they came out before the Genesis, but the Genesis was like right on their tail with a better ad campaign.
I think you could say for the TurboGrafx, since we mentioned her earlier. It's like you were dating Jennifer Love Hewitt. She loved you. She wanted to marry. She's super dedicated to you. But you kept hounding on her. It's like, yo, I know you're so beautiful. I know you're going to leave me. And you're probably cheating on me. And you do it enough that she actually does it.
Well, I think it would be more like this. It's like, hey, Jennifer Love Hewitt, I would love you more if you were just in a significantly larger plastic casing that served no other purpose than to just, make you
telling me to get
bigger.
A tip job or
just to make you bigger.
Fine?
I want you bigger to look more American is what I want you to do right now.
I want you to eat these cheeseburgers. They're right in front of me.
It's amazing.
Paris Hilton did it for me in that Carl's Jr. ad.
It's really funny because the TurboGrafx. The funny thing was, like when the PC Engine came to the United States, people were like the NEC staff were like really confused by the name PC Engine, which honestly I can kind of understand. It's not a very, it's very Japanese in that regard in terms of like how I see how they could get behind that. I'm not sure how American consumers could get behind it. But I don't know. I could be off base in my thinking there. But I don't know. To me, I'm like PC Engine. I'm like that's kind of weird. But so they thought, like, they sat there basically, and they're like, if we're going to retool the name, we might as well, like, change the casing and make it more American, So they wasted, like, basically, like, 2 years, like, actually more like a year and a half, just, like, retooling the freaking casing that was coming in. So instead of
the thing that's great about PC Engine is that you could put it in your pocket if you're fat enough,
Oh yeah, and that was another complaint they had. They're like, well, this is too much like a toy. It's too small. So that was another thing they had. Like they thought, like if it's big, it's got to be like a VCR,
They must have seen like the Nintendo strategy and how that worked, and they made it look like the VCR.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, it's not like those silly video games that Atari was putting out 5 years ago.
Well,
also, John Rogers, I have not mentioned the Hitman yet because I'm sober. But if he comes up in a topical way...
the Hitman? What now? What?
The Hitman. Adolf.
Oh, the H...
The Hitman, as I'm going to call him. The H-bomb.
It's not a PC, though.
Well,
I feel like, because essentially, like, the reason why it was called the PC Engine in Japan was because NEC had their primary line of PCs, basically, that they were, like, renowned for.
The PC 98, 88.
Yeah, so they were renowned for that, so calling it the PC Engine was not off base.
It confused the shit out of me when I was younger, though.
Yeah.
Even when I was, like, a young adult, because I was like, is this, like, a PC? I'm going to have to, like, maintain discs, and, like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't get a PC Engine until so late in life. Mm. When I found out, I was like, oh, it's just a video game console? What the hell? Because then they also had the PC FX, which came out afterward, which was a huge, giant dump of a mistake. Mm-hmm. But that was like shaped like a PC tower. So I was super confused. Like, are these all just like weird PCs? And am I gonna have to fucking log in? Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's probably when hey, Car Freak, what's up, man? I feel like it's kind of when they crapped the bed in that regard, like at least into the Japanese market. But like the American market was just an unadulterated train wreck in terms of like they had all the great pieces were there. They had the perfect hardware basically that could go head to head with Nintendo. They had Hudson Soft's creative minds behind a lot of the software for it.
I'll tell you what too. Like just going back to like the marketing thing. They said it looks like a toy. Like, why did they fucking change the box art for so many of these games and make them look like fucking children's books?
So that's another thing too.
If you would have kept
So
some of the real artwork for these things, a lot of them looked like, oh, that's like a fucking
they look great, yeah. Like so,
comic book.
so
You know?
one reasoning I heard for that was
Sci-fi
the.
novel.
Let's see, and will you ever get an FM Towns? Which one's the FM Towns?
That's the CD-based FM Towns system. I think they're well, they're pretty expensive.
I'm drawing a blank right now on what that one looks like.
I think it kind of just looks like a PC, but there's a CD slot.
Is that the PC engine FM Towns? Oh wait, or am I thinking?
It's the what do you call, what did company put out the Towns?
I'll need to look at it.
Sanyo, but one of them.
I'm losing my mind. I need to look at it.
It was what's it? God damn it, Fujitsu, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know,
so
if
the
it,
FF Towns, and then
this might sound odd, but if the console didn't have like an official American release, I'm not particularly too motivated to get it. If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just very much like an American market type guy.
Yeah, unless you get a small loan of $1 million from your father, they're pretty hard to collect for. They're finding them in good working order too. I think with the Talon Smarty, not so much, but a lot of the old PC games, anything that uses a belt, nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Freaking Yahel's Pepsi Man run was fun, but he also managed to raise like $1,115 or something like that for the freaking charity stream he did today. It was nuts.
That's pretty good.
Awesome.
That's very good.
But oh god, what was I going at? Now I forgot. I forgot where I was going. Oh, so the box art. So yeah, the box art for the PC Engine is really interesting in terms of like what it was, like why that kind of happened. So apparently, one of the reasons I was reading was that the American execs or the people in the marketing department, they never actually had access to the original materials for that. They only ever got like the Japanese ones. But I don't necessarily feel like that's really that true, because then another guy was talking about how they're like, oh yeah, I mean like we're Americans, so we felt like we knew the American market better. So they let their 4-year-old cousin draw box art for whatever reason.
Bonk artwork, holy shit!
Well, it was like Bonk. The number one example I found that people like cite is like Dungeon Keeper or whatever that one's called. Dungeon Explorer. There we go.
Dungeon Explorer.
And like the Japanese box art's awesome because it has this like sexy Dungeon Explorer font on the ground and these great like shadows of the people that go into the dungeon. But then the American one is this really god awful. Just like I don't know who drew it, but it's just like out of proportion people standing in front of a really crappy looking castle.
I'll say this, like I think like the TurboGrafx stuff, they gave the fucking Master System box art people a run for their money.
Oh god, like
just with like how like because at least there was the white background and it was like less is more.
Yeah.
But this was like more is more shit.
Yeah, it was.
It's like
it fell definitely into God, it fell definitely into that category of like stuff like what was it? Is it Metro Gold?
US Gold.
Yeah, US Gold, like the one they made for like that one. I did a video on this. I'm drawing a blank on what the game was called. But it's like my all-time favorite box art, where it's like this guy wearing basically like just spandex, and he's like making this really just hideous O face, and like the foreign box art was like not too bad, but they made this thing.
Have you seen, like, what was it, pro wrestling on the Master System? It's a wrestler who's decapitated and he's headlocking his own head. What the fuck were these people thinking?
Oh, God, I love that one. No, it's amazing.
I gotta refill my drink. I'll be right back.
Do your thing. Do your thing. But yeah, that's a TurboGrafx. It's amazing, just, like, going into, like, the depths of how you had very motivated, talented people who were really... Metrocross, thank you. Thank you, John. But then it's so fascinating just how it fell apart. It's like, basically the video I put together is essentially... okay. Well, at least classic box art Atari, it was very much like over-showy in terms of what you were going to be getting. Like Missile Command was kind of like good. Like the guy wearing the helmet running a console, or... Space Invaders on the freaking 2800 stuff, or even Battlezone. Like, that stuff looked pretty decent. Or the 7800 where you had, like, Ninja Golf, and it was just a ninja with a golf bag on their backs. You're like, okay, I really wasn't know what to expect there, but that's, literally what the title is. So you have that going for it. But just the PC Engine stuff is just fascinating. Just how they really
save it for the video, man.
I mean, like, man, you know, there's
give everybody all the secrets here.
There's plenty
of be like, I'll skip this video.
There's literally a half hour of content in there that's going to be like, oh wow, that's tragic.
Now,
in terms of
get these from the Atari Age forum or where'd you get this information? You need to vet this information.
There's a couple of there's like a book out there that I've been pulling stuff from. I pulled it from some of it from another gentleman on Gaming Alexandria who's very knowledgeable, and then another one I'm pulling from there's a fantastic in-depth Gama Sutra article that has just tons of first-hand accounts of stuff going on in NEC at the time.
Sexy.
So it's good stuff. Like I don't know.
Just making sure that you don't talk to anybody who's an expert on the subject.
Oh yeah, make sure make sure you don't ever talk to the TurboGrafx guy, or whatever. Yeah,
Turbo man.
Yeah, Turbo
dude.
Yeah, Kieran Hagen, terrible person. Let's just leave it there. And, not afraid to say that. Yeah, but man, like
shit, his uncle's work though, and fucking space time, all that shit, man.
Wait, what am I missing here? What?
Stephen Hawking is his
wait. Is this a thing? This a thing?
Different autistic motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Okay, he's probably lying about that as well. That right there is a
he's just an asshole.
That right there is a fascinating story in terms of like he actually he mentioned his channel up to like almost 20,000 subscribers before basically Atari Age was like, and so I think some other people, I think Mastercast and a few other folks, kind of came out of the woodwork and were like, no, you really need to be careful about this person because this is what he's doing, and the fact of the matter, he was basically like being revisionist about the Atari Jaguar for the better part of 6 years, and basically had the Jaguar Wikipedia page apparently on lockdown for a while, like continually re-editing it back to his particular narrative.
So weird. Like I don't know the deets about it, but I know you've mentioned it before. But it just seems like I don't want to touch it. So
stay away.
I've never been involved, and I'm you know what?
The only reason I even got
sounds pretty fruity to me.
The only reason I even got remotely involved in it was because I did that Atari Genesis video forever ago. And someone said just a rather rude comment was like, "Oh, this is really similar to blah 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 large layers video." Yeah, and
it was one of his alternate accounts.
Yeah,
right?
It was one of his sock puppet accounts, and I'm like, I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm subbed to that guy. Why? I'm like, I don't get it.
That is like a typical internet bitch move, though.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's switch over to Military Madness because this one's fun.
Hell yeah!
I enjoy this guy.
Ian, is Phillips still not returning your calls on the CDI? Dude, he got blacklisted. Yeah, hell, that motherfucker. Apparently, Chris or somebody was saying in the chat that he was playing Pepsi Man the other day. What a piece of shit. Yeah, hell, I'll fight you any day, boy. I just gotta stick my hand out. No, I'm just kidding. That's cool,
well, the Phillips thing,
you.
I don't know. I ended up actually getting a hold of Jan Timmer eventually, and that was, unfortunately, it was very anticlimactic in terms of what he knew about it. I'm like,
I thought it was like never meet your heroes type thing.
No, it was. I don't know.
He kept on saying how much he thought I would look pretty in a dress, and I was like, I don't know if I want to continue this conversation, Mr. Timmer. I don't feel comfortable.
No, it was. But no, it was interesting. Like, so Phillips just didn't bother keeping any of it, and the people, like one of the key people that like actually knew stuff, pretty much went to jail for embezzling stuff. I think from the CDI project. So it's fascinating in that regard, but like it just didn't go anywhere in terms of at least in terms of resources available through Phillips. And the funny thing is, I was working with this Dutch like journalist person, and she was like, "Yeah, she's like, yeah." When I got that deep, they're like, "Yeah, as we told Mr. Thorpe." We don't know anything.
As we told Mr. Thorpe, that guy is on our shit list.
Yeah, it was just funny.
7B was talking about all the times that Hitler, so I can mention him now, was in 90s cartoons, and I was thinking about Captain Planet, and John Rogers put that up in there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think Ted Turner kicked his ass in Captain Planet. And Smail64, yeah, apparently, I guess he was just making a bunch of shit up for... You know what that Kieran guy must have done? He did the My Uncle Works at Nintendo thing in the modern age, but on the internet for like 30-something-year-old neckbeards. He put if he's making up facts about like the fucking what is it, the Atari or the fucking whatever shitty old British PC nobody cares about.
Mm-hmm.
He did the my uncle worked at Nintendo. That's my source. My uncle who works at Nintendo. That's kind of amazing, you know. Is it on Wikipedia? Because that would be fucking hilarious. I edited all the wikis. Uh-oh.
Oh, I got to turn the turbo off. That's why. Okay. I was like, ah!
Are you having problems with your control?
No, well, because you have the built-in turbo, which I guess the PC Engine didn't have. so I'm sitting there like, wait, why is it spamming these buttons?
Like, oh, Jesus. That's the worst kind of Hitler, space Hitler. You know what I do miss about like those 90s cartoons and like making fun of Hitler Nazis is they made them look like buffoons. And that's what you really got to do. If you want to fight it, don't make it like, oh, these dangerous. Like, no, these are idiots who should be made fun of. Yeah, Hitler needs to get pushed into a lake of toxic waste or whatever.
Well, that was kind of like the way...
Like the guy with a heart ring.
Yeah, like the... Monty.
And his monkey.
Yeah, freaking... I think a lot of actors who played Nazis back in the day, they're like, the only way I'll play this character is if I can play him like an idiot.
In that context, yeah. Unless you're like, what is it, Valkyrie? Tom Cruise.
Oh, that one, yeah.
You gotta play that serious.
Mm-hmm. But then it was...
I'll tell you what, you know what terrified me when I was a kid, though? Was Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. When he gets that autograph from Hitler, I was like, oh, fuck. Because even I didn't know that much about Hitler back then. That guy who played Hitler, and that was intense.
Wait, didn't Dragon
And my mom and dad told me, yeah, Hitler did a lot of bad stuff. Like, he killed millions of people. I was like, what? Oh, God, is he going to kill Indy?
No.
Nothing can kill Indy. Not even voodoo dolls. I saw in the last movie.
Not plane crashes, not atomic explosions.
Indy, oh yeah. Little did we know, yeah, not atomic explosions. That's the one thing during this pandemic that would have been funny. Instead of toilet paper, everyone's buying up the refrigerators. Everyone, they saw that Indiana Jones movie and they're just hiding in their refrigerators.
Barca what? What?
Stuck.
I'm not sure if you can hear her or not.
I can hear her, yeah. She's not happy. She likes blazing lasers.
Alright. Lay back down.
Captain Planet made him look scary. Oof. Dude, I didn't know that Hitler was in Dragon Ball.
Let's see, is this game a total clone? I've never actually played Famicom Wars, so I don't know.
This looks a lot like Famicom Wars. This is you know, at the cusp of Jeremy Dixon's like Time on Earth. Yeah, there was a game called Famicom Wars. The Advance Wars series, I guess, is what they called it in the States. Pretty fun.
But I have to say, like, ever shown you Warsong?
What's that?
Ever shown you Warsong?
You mean the Genesis game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so was it Langrisser?
Yeah, I freaking love that game.
That is a great game. I remember I had friends who were anti, like, Japanese games back in the day, but they loved Warsong. I was like, that's the only game I like that was made in Japan.
I was so happy when I found mine, because, like, I was in, like, a random thrift store on the Oregon coast. And I'd like, do you have any like old games? Like, oh yeah, I have this one. I'm like, and they were like, so they're like, what do you want for it? And they're like, give me a number. And I'm like, $3. And she's like, $5. And I'm like, sold. And I go look at it, and it's like $80. So I was like, damn.
Yeah. You should go back and give that guy the rest of the money.
I should have. I'm like,
it happens. I remember when I was living in South Carolina, I went to this bizarro warehouse. It was this giant warehouse just of everything you could think of, right? Mm-hmm. And there's one guy there at the warehouse, and I remember buying a butterfly knife and about like 7 or 8 Nintendo games. I got like a Buckyo hair for like $5. It was back before everything was like super ridiculous expensive too, but had I known, I would have bought every fucking game in that pile. But it was weird. It was like he's selling knives and swords and guns and fucking like clothing, and this giant like Amazon-looking warehouse of like everything ever made, and there was a little like little wire kind of like mesh cart of just like a whole bunch of like Nintendo games, and that's why actually we went there.
Nice.
We heard we had Nintendo.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find these days.
Like I said, I didn't know that there were. I didn't know that Dragon Ball even had Hitler in it. Man, what the fuck?
Well, Dragon Ball GT was really weird.
I remember it was a big deal because when I was a kid, at least, you had to get the Japanese channel to watch it, and so I didn't have that channel. But I remember going to the Fuzzy channel and watching a little bit of it, and barely being able to make out the subs.
I never, how do you describe it? I don't know, I like DBZ and all that. And I don't think I got to watch GT until it was pretty much fully dubbed, on Cartoon Network.
That's right.
Yeah, so I never really checked it out. And at that point, I was like, as soon as they made Goku a kid again, I'm like, oh, I didn't really like original Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't my thing, and I'm like,
you don't like fun.
Yeah, I don't like fun and cutie kid stuff.
Oh, tell that to your daughter. Well, I'm gonna let her know. Hey, here's what your dad really feels about you.
Yeah, you should tell her that.
Yep. Your dad is Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla.
No, man, I've been like,
it's
funny. My wife is a big fan of Godzilla, and I'm a huge fan of Mecha Godzilla, and so I've been like selling my daughter a Mecha Godzilla, like the entire time we're watching it. I'm like, check it out, Mecha Godzilla can fly, and she's like, Godzilla can fly, and I'm like, no, Godzilla cannot fly.
After
so
Mechagodzilla uppercuts him into the air.
Dude, it was like, I'm of the opinion, like, Mechagodzilla was basically trashing King Caesar and all that, like, during the whole fight, and, like, then Godzilla shows up, and he's, like, kicking the crap out of Godzilla. And Godzilla starts kind of beating him up a little bit, but then, like, the only reason Godzilla wins is because, King Caesar shows up and they start double-teaming him. I'm like, that's the only reason. That's the only reason Mechagodzilla lost. He had him on his own. And
Ladies
and
gentlemen, you're listening to the ramblings of a delusional fool. Godzilla. That's funny though.
Hey, Godzilla was a hell of a dropkick. But no, it was so much fun because I've just been like selling my daughter on it, and she's like, every morning I'm getting up and I go downstairs and she's like, watch Godzilla, and I'm like, hell yeah, we're watching Godzilla.
We've been secretly sneaking in little Godzilla plushies. Oh, by the way, speaking of Godzilla plushies, have you fucking seen the new chibi Godzilla bullshit they're putting out there?
I bought one for my daughter, and she is like not a fan of it. I showed it to her, and she's like, "That's not Godzilla."
The one that looks nothing like Godzilla, right?
Well, because I have
what the hell?
Yeah, because I have like the original old toys that came to America. They were like the big plastic dinosaur ones, with like the opposing ones. I have a couple of those that are Godzilla from when I was a kid. Then I have this like mid-90s set that came out, where it was like the crazy advanced looking Mechagodzilla, but not the original one. But then I have a Godzilla that looks a lot like Godzilla 1985, and then I have a King Rodan for some reason. Because like those three toys were available. Let's see here, Ian, show your daughter the Godzilla cartoon, Godzilla and Godzuki. Oh yeah. I think we're calling that.
We'll go up here real quick. Dragon Ball GT for PS1. That was out like in '97, and I remember hating fighting games after I played that game. And everybody was like, oh, you could play Pong.
I need to show
Gotenks.
I didn't realize that there was a chart in this game. I'm going to show that to Yahel and be like, man, you can get your statistics on in here.
Gamera is the best kaiju. Gamera is pretty cool. There's a pretty cool PS1 Gamera game that I've been trying to get.
Oh, Gamera, okay.
Gamera 2000.
I remember there was that, what was it, late 90s Gamera reboot, right? Where it was like, they had all those weird vulture things, and they were like eating people. And then Gamera shows up with his fucking rocket legs.
I think it was Gamera 2000.
Yeah.
Everything had to have 2000 in it around that time. Even Dr. Dre's album, 2001.
I remember Godzilla 2000 managed to get a theatrical release after Godzilla 1998, the really crappy American one.
The best one.
And I remember going to the theater knowing it was the Japanese one, and people were just genuinely confused Because they had no idea it was the Japanese one. It was so they're like, "What the fuck is up with this Godzilla?" And they're like walking out. It was so funny. It made me so happy. You have no idea.
The best Godzilla. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Best design, fucking best actors in it. I mean, what the? What's wrong with you? Also, yes, Gamera is on PS1 genre. Actually, it's kind of like Panzer Dragoon. It's pretty cool.
Hey, Aaron Walsh, how you doing, man?
There's your boy Aaron.
Mr. Sensei had a great camera song. Oh,
I've not seen that one. Oh dang.
Man. But no, it's been really fun watching like Godzilla again. My daughter.
They had some pretty good like shitty Japanese movies on Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'll always remember one where it was like half the movie was like a bunch of school children running around.
Oh, was it the black and white one?
Yes, and they kept making fun of. I was like, oh god, I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen at that point in my life.
Oh god, yeah, Seven Beatles just brought up Jet Jaguar. That's the worst one. Jet Jaguar, attack!
Let's take a look at this link. This malware link. The Gamera song. Oh, here it is.
And Shady Link, go. Do you watch Internet Comment Etiquette at all, or no?
No.
Is that your
but
thing?
I know you've mentioned it before. I just don't watch too much stuff on YouTube, to be honest.
Getting wrecked here.
You don't upload that much, so I don't watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. You know what I did watch though? I watched a clip from WrestleMania. It's a little weird. No audience.
Man, I'm so freaking far behind on my. I don't think I've uploaded a video in like 3 months. I'm like, man, I am sucking in terms of like making content right now.
Yeah, you know, last night I just filmed a pickups video, so I'll at least have something out.
Well, I thought about filming a pickups video for like April 1st, where I was like, "Hey, let me show you my pickups for April 1st." I'm like, and I have nothing because I stayed home, like all of you should be doing.
You should have just filmed a bunch of toilet paper and gotten a lot of people to hate you. Oh, look what I got.
Oh, it was so funny.
I use one per session.
So my sister-in-law, they have been out of toilet paper for like a while, and they're like, we just want to buy toilet paper. And I was at Walmart, and I saw a pack of it, and I'm like, all right, and I bought it for them, and I got dirty looks from people. I bought 1 pack of toilet paper.
You selfish bastard.
And I'm like, I bought...
What makes your ass so much better than ours, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was just funny to me, because I'm like, all right, because they needed it, but I bought the Costco pack forever ago, so I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't know how people use so much fucking toilet paper.
No, honestly, it was just... People were like, oh, no, it's not going to be toilet paper when I get there. I'm just going to buy it now. So it's essentially one of those just panic purchases.
Yeah.
There's really not a shortage.
Tissue,
it's just...
You got leaves, you got the shower.
Yeah, because essentially the fabrication plant... Like, I know one of the fabrication plants in Idaho that produces pulp for it. They were like, basically before this whole crisis hit, they were working 3 days a week, and that's all they worked because that was all the demand they had. And now they are up to 7 days a week, 24-hour shifts right now to try and meet demand.
The brave warriors, the toilet TP warriors.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. Good.
Only you non-essentials have to stay home. Us heroes.
Yeah, who here is a non-essential? Who's a non-essential? I'm a non-essential, but I still go to work. So.
I have to go to work. So I don't poop. I have tons of shit toilet paper. I have 16 rolls left. Alright. Yeah, for me, it's like the funny thing is I'm sitting at work, and I'm just waiting because I'm like, okay, when are they gonna activate the chemical guy in the state? Come on, you gonna do it? What's going on? Just waiting by the phone. I'm just going to work every day because that's like what I wait for, basically.
One thing I know is it's like kind of Aaron Walsh brings it up though. It's like everyone's a fucking hero though. Like a lot of people's like, I'm at home, I'm a hero. Guys, look at me without makeup on. I'm such a hero. I'm so brave. I got Netflix. Oh my god, I'm staying at home. It's like, what the fuck? I know it's annoying, but people are always trying to make it into like this grandiose thing. It's like, you just staying at home. It's like getting sick from school, except you're not sick, most of you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, the scary thing, like my mother, she's a quote-unquote essential employee because she's basically an HR manager at a dairy out here, at one of the dairy production facilities. And she's had a history of respiratory illness. So like when she was going back to work, I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I gotta work. I'm like, just work from home. Jesus Christ. And then she like, no, but she was like going to work, and I'm like, can you please not go to work? And she's like, no, I gotta work. I'm like, all right. And then once the numbers started coming out, once the numbers started coming out, she's like, okay, I'm gonna work from home. I'm like, thank you.
All right, doing the right thing.
Yeah. Like,
also, you missed the opportunity. I tried to do the layout for you. Who's a non-essential in here? You should have been like, all of you guys are essential to me.
I should have done
You missed out. You missed out. I'm very disappointed. Now everybody knows the truth.
No, Idaho is.
If you can stay home, definitely stay home.
Idaho is rushing quickly towards over 1,000 cases.
Ooh. You know what's weird about my area? It's like we had, for the longest time, we had one person infected. And then all these fucks came in from other places and infected everybody. And now that the infection is starting to kind of spread, now everything's open again. Or at least they're normal. They're back to normal hours. Like, what the fuck?
So here's the weird thing. So like, what they're discovering about the virus is that it can sit on a steel or glass surface for 3 days with no problems. Like that's even in like a relatively like UV sun-rich environment. But then they're discovering that within environments not exposed to sunlight, it can hang out for up to 17 days. Mm-hmm. So it's like, holy shit, that's a pretty gnarly little virus.
Yeah, this is the first time I heard the 17, but I know about like the several days, and you know, it's funny is like a lot of this stuff too. It's like, you can get reinfected. It's like, yeah, people were saying that 2 months ago. All these reports that got suppressed from China, some of them were getting out, and all the whole like, up to 20 something days incubation period, which I still don't see a lot of people talking about, but it's very hit and miss. And that the non-symptomatic stuff, the asymptomatic carriers. All this shit was out there like months ago, and now all of a sudden it's like new news. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But if you mention that though, people are like, oh, you're just a conspiracy nut. Oh, you're crazy. Why do you believe those reports?
Well, I honestly, I think it's more. I think if you deny the virus, I think you're more inclined, in my opinion, to be called a nut. I think if you're erring on the side of caution.
Now, if you deny it, you are. So back then, if you're thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a big fucking blow up, because I remember saying that, and I remember even being on one of my own streams, and people saying, no, you can't get it from coughing, and I was like, what? Yeah, maybe if you cough directly into somebody's mouth. I was like, no, that's retarded. Stop.
That's it. Sort of getting to this N95 mask. No, I have an M50 freaking Pro mask in the trunk of my car. I'm giving it with a charcoal biological rated filter. And I got
I have an M16 though, and anybody that comes close to me starts coughing on me.
I'm gonna shoot the virus.
Answer to these bullets.
But no, it's funny because I have my freaking like level A suit over there, so I got my like scuba system. I have all that shit ready to go. But like that's just if I like literally put that shit on and started like walking around, people were like, "Are you hunting ET or what are you doing right now?"
I just hope everybody can stay safe and healthy, obviously. Before and after this whole fucking thing too, Deep down, I want everybody to do well.
You doing any mop suit PT? No, I haven't done mop suit PT since 2018 when we were like being hardcore about it. But no, I have all that. Like I don't actually. The funny thing is all my mop gear. So I have my level A scuba suit, which is independent from my mop gear. My mop gear is loaded in a Connex, which was on its way to Germany because we were going there for a while. And then they canceled it. So all of my equipment, basically, so like my ruck and my other like tactical gear, is loaded in the back of a Connex somewhere between here and Germany. And I'm waiting for that to come back.
How did New York get so bad? Have you been to New York, Smale?
Sure you have. Essentially, any populated city seems to get hit hard, especially any city with mass transit like that. Like I'm kind of shocked. Like Japan hasn't reported just crazy freaking stuff from their mass transit, the close proximity going on there.
That's what I'm saying. I know that there's way more people, but it's just surprising that it's not as bad. I think because a lot of people do keep masks, and they do try to, as much as they can, stay away from other people. It's not a hugging culture, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that too, and people don't really like. Not too many people are living with multiple people in their house. People are kind of by themselves a lot of the times.
I guess that does help. I guess.
But a lot of it's bullshit because there's no fucking way. And it is clean for the most part. It's very clean in these big cities compared to a lot of like a New York, which is, I like New York and everything, but dirty as fuck.
What's your
giant rats in your stuff?
So some people say, remember the rumors of King of Monsters setting up a Dark Universe edgy Jet Jagger? I would watch the crap out of that set, like to the. Gotta be honest, I thought, what was it, King of Monsters? Was that the new American one they just did?
I'm not sure.
Or the new, I don't know. I didn't think that one was particularly very good. But I will say, like, because I like where like the new American Godzilla franchise is going. But I didn't really like the latest one because it was kind of like I felt like they were forcing an Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like they were avenging, like they were doing like an Avengers vibe is what they were going for.
Oh, Avengers of Monsters.
But I mean, like
the big thing they're trying to get King Kong to fight.
Oh, yeah, they're working on that now. But I mean, like essentially, King of Monsters didn't really do particularly too well. But
that's funny
because I think the issue you run into with Godzilla movies in general, especially if you're trying to do like an Avengers vibe. When you get all the monsters together like that, they just fucking wreck cities. So you're like, well, what are humans gonna do? So it's like, all right, they just rebuild, or what do you do? What do you do story wise when like San Francisco gets leveled or New York gets absolutely leveled? It's kind of like, okay, what do you do there?
You gotta see some kind of creative shit in these Godzilla movies. If you're gonna fuck up the franchise, just at least some creative, take some risks.
I mean, like. To be fair, what they're doing right now is better than what we did in 1998 with it, but it's just kind of... I don't know,
it is way better. It looked interesting, and you know what? Godzilla looks thick as fuck in the new American ones. That boy fucking lifts.
Let's see, so many Asian countries have been inundated with these viruses for the last 20 years. Well, I mean, like in Asian cultures, you have different things like, I'm not sure if this is necessarily true, but like, there isn't a social stigma associated with masks or like the N95 masks and stuff like that, so there's not as many issues with those. I don't think there's issues with being a germaphobe in Asian cultures.
You can't find masks now, but people tend to wear masks either because they're sick and they don't want to get other people sick, or chicks who don't want to put on makeup, they'll wear a mask. I swear to God, and it's a very mask culture, but it's all fucking China, man. Like even back in like the 70s, they had like Hong Kong flus and shit like that, right? So it's always perpetuating, and these China numbers bullshit. Just gonna get that out there.
Well, what I find really fascinating about that is one of my best friend's dads. He's very staunchly like. Not staunchly conservative. I don't know what you'd say, but like he very much buys into a lot of the online media content going around right now. And he's like very much like, oh, it's a Chinese bioweapon that escaped from a lab in Wuhan. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm like, when you have like wet markets like that where people like actively eat bats and things like that and creatures like that, and you're in close proximity to creatures that are not like in the United States with like in a lot of like industrial farms, you have a crap ton of antibiotics or other things going on which are it's a way to stem the tide of a lot of these viral things because we use it. Even though you end up with a lot of stuff that's like immune to them, you still lower your transfer rate. And when you have people like that that are relatively along the poverty line that stay in close proximity to their animals constantly because they have nowhere else to be, you end up with this like just crossover pandemic like type stuff. And I don't know, it blows my mind that people buy that in terms of like, no,
it's like Noah's fucking ark crash into a market in hell.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like,
animals.
It's almost to me like I feel like China is spreading these rumors of it being a bioweapon to save some type of prestige. Because
I was gonna ask you, because does it sound more stupid? Does it sound more fucking stupid if like some guy was in a lab and he was driving down the street and he's like, oh fuck, I crashed my car and here's the bioweapon? Or some guy was in a biolab and a bat pissed in his mouth and he got fucking sick and he spread the shit out like 28 days later style.
Let's see your. So we have a video. We have a video game question. I'm sorry. We'll deviate from current politics.
What are you guys talking about video games for? This is important.
Yeah. Sorry. See, nice. Another live video. Curious how popular was TurboGrafx 16 in the U.S. I arrived in New York in 1994 and never heard about it. So my understanding with it, or at least my understanding based on the research I've done, was that. Because as a kid growing up in the United States, I never heard of the TurboGrafx until the 2000s. It was the first time I'd heard about it. So I missed it entirely. And what I'm finding is that, so like, NEC manufactured like 750,000 of these things because they were like really excited and they thought they had a winner. And apparently they never actually sold through that 750,000 all the way through 1994. So they got the manufacturer, they manufactured them at like 1989. 750,000. They're like, "Oh, cool. We're waiting for the winter rush," and it never happened. So they sat on these units for like that long, and then by the end of it in '94, when basically NEC backed out, and then you had Turbo Technologies took over. Oh, so yeah, 156 through 780. Oh no, sorry, that's wait, what?
That's about people dying, I guess.
Oh, contracted.
If everybody got sick.
Yeah, contracted.
And that's not TurboGrafx related, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Stay on target.
Sorry, those numbers, I thought it was 750,000 of TurboGrafx numbers. But,
millions, too, in that one.
Yeah, I was not paying attention. So, where I was going, essentially, it just wasn't popular. So basically, like, I don't think NEC ever successfully sold through all of the units they had. And then apparently I was reading another thing that talked about how apparently when they had them, that it, they ended up dumping them on the Brazilian market.
So the Brazilians are good for it.
Yeah, so the Brazilians got the last like.
Anything. They're still playing Master System in like 2005.
Yeah. So they got a bunch of them. Any reason? Really bad marketing would be a big piece of that. It was just that.
Yeah,
Nintendo and Sega had Nintendo and Sega had these amazing marketing plans, and NEC did not. Like one of the big issues they had was like NEC hired these people from Atari, thinking, "Oh, I mean, Atari knows video games, all this stuff." And these were people from the computer division of Atari, selling like Atari STs, that knew nothing of the game division side of Atari. Because quite frankly, the funny thing was, Sega had already sniped Michael Katz, who was one of the main leaders from the gaming division of Atari. So it was like there was nothing left to pick from. So basically, NEC was going into a fight with a system that by all means should have done amazing. I mean, this thing is fantastic. This thing, based on the quality of product they were getting from their games, it is on par with anything the Genesis was pumping out early on. Like, better than anything the Genesis was pumping out in 1989.
Sure. Yeah, I remember it must have been 89 for me, or maybe 1990, but when I was a kid, I had a cousin who had cancer, so his parents bought him, like, pretty much everything. Keep him happy, right? Mm-hmm. He had a TurboGrafx. And I remember seeing it, I was like, what is that? I had like the NES, right? And I played a Commodore 64, so I was familiar with video games, but just seeing Bonk, it was like amazing looking. But that was a very few and far between example of like a kind of cool killer app type of game for it, right?
Yeah.
But they did have some pretty amazing games compared to a lot of the market at the time, especially the Genesis, early Genesis, a little bit. Yeah.
Hue card's very interesting. How's the durability? I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't give you a accurate take on that.
I'll tell you what. I have many Hue cards, and none of them ever fuck up.
Well, I mean, they're relatively solid state, I think, for the most part. So I mean, I could be wrong in my assessment of that, but they seem pretty good. Let's see here. As a kid, target age for
Mitsubishi knew what they were doing, so put it that way.
Yeah. But is it not confirmed from the vets? Sorry, I always forget. Like I get way too into that that aspect of my career field where I'm like, yeah, weapons, stuff like that. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, Smale 64. I think it's like flash memory. I think it's either 32 to 64 kilobytes or something like that.
Well, so what's really weird to me is I've been trying to verify. I've been trying to verify this about how essentially. Apparently, Hudson Soft had actually shopped around. They pitched the TurboGrafx, PC Engine, to Nintendo. And so they were trying to get Nintendo on board for the system. And then apparently when Nintendo turned them down, they actually turned around and like pitched it to Sega. Which is
And what did Sega do?
Sega was like, nah, we have our own console coming out that we're working on, so we're good.
Hard pass.
Well, which is kind of interesting because like, so the Famicom came out in '83 in Japan, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's '83. So they were developing. So Hudson Soft developed it between '84 and '86, or '84 and '85. And when they got turned down, they eventually came to market in '86, and so they did pretty well. But then you had like 2 years between then and 3 years between then and between that date and them jumping into the American market. I don't know, it's amazing. Yeah, Hudson Soft did design the software. Or the hardware. Yes, the hardware. There we go. Yeah, they were pretty much... it's kind of crazy, like... The deal Hudson Soft got on manufacturing the TurboGrafx 16 and the PC Engine is just beyond me in terms of like how they managed to negotiate that. Because no matter what, Hudson Soft got a cut of the HuCard sales because they had a patent on the technology for the HuCards, as well as the hardware design. So for every console manufacturer, they got money. For every HuCard manufacturer, they got money. For every HuCard sold, they got money. So it was ridiculous, the amount of just what they were getting out of it. And as to how, like, NEC was like really eager to jump into it because they were like a tech giant. Kind of like, I would say it's on par to how Sony jumped into the game market, but it's not the same thing because NEC didn't do it. They didn't take full ownership of the property. Like they licensed it as opposed to just full ownership, like what PlayStation did in terms of like they developed theirs in house though. So I don't know. It's really interesting.
How much of a cut do you think Mitsubishi took for the HuCards?
Mitsubishi, I think
Or
they developed.
Have a different pay,
I want to say they developed it. I feel like alongside with Hudson Soft.
Yes.
And they were the primary manufacturers. So they were the ones manufacturing it. So I feel like they got mostly a manufacturing.
They got an upfront money for it. And
I don't.
No royalties.
I don't know the whole deal between Hudson Soft and Mitsubishi. All I know is NEC was getting the rough side of that deal in terms of what was happening. But I'm gonna pour myself another drink. If you don't mind giving me just a minute here, I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Yeah, sounds good. That's right. That was the old Mitsubishi EEPROM cards that they had for fucking. They had it for different applications, but it's PC RAM expansion or whatever, a memory expansion. They had like telephone cards briefly that used it. Of course, the B cards for the MSX, and I even like the Sega My cards. I believe were Mitsubishi manufactured. So, well, that's I guess hopefully that's all stuff you can look forward to in Ian's video. That's taking him a good while to look into. I wish the Mazda M2 had come out. Though the Dream System. Yeah, well, didn't ever come out. Also, while Ian's gone, maybe if anybody has any sort of like requests for games for him to play, I don't think he has too many TurboGrafx games, but I think it might be time to change the game. But yeah, man, all the card-based games I've ever had have never given me any sort of problems. I got tons of HuCards. HuCards, I know they have a much higher capacity than like B cards and than the Sega My cards. But Aaron Welch, you're always doing requests here. This is a very casual stream. You can ask Ian to jump on one leg if you want to. Yeah, and see some Splatterhouse. Seen Final Fantasy VII Remake leaks? No, sir. And I almost picked it up next week when it's coming out here in Japan, but I'll just wait till later.
Wait, what I miss?
Just talking about getting requests. So Zeromancer would like to see Splatterhouse, I guess, and also FF7 remake requests. I said that the Gamera game was like Panzer Dragoon. Yeah, it has like a lock-on shooting system.
You know what? We can switch over to Splatterhouse for a little bit.
You good? We'll be singing karaoke tonight. Have some requests for that. All right, get that Gamera song link, Aaron Welsh. We're gonna get Ian to do the Gamera song from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, Jeremy says no Splatterhouse. Sorry, just a minute, Jeremy. Come on.
Yeah. Brooklyn Style. I just wants to know if you had Street Fighter. Do you have
No, not for
Fighting Street? I almost bought, you know what? Fuck, I forgot to buy that the other day. It was cheap. Damn it.
Really?
I do have Street Fighter 2
Because
for
because what
PC
the one
Engine.
for the TG16 was only CD attachment, right?
I don't know. I know that the one I have is just a hue card with a little bit of fat on it, a little bit of a little bun in the oven, look like, for the extra memory. Fighting Street was the CD version though. That I think NEC did that port themselves, and
it's been really interesting reading about some of that stuff because it was like, yeah, the Street Fighter one, which apparently they had a deal in the works for that. It's like so I guess Fighting Street was something else entirely different, but then they actually had like a arcade license for Street Fighter that they were pushing for that they apparently did not get the approval on.
Okay.
But then there was another thing where like for the TG16 they were like pushing for like a Madden game. They're like, oh cool, if we can get EA, we can. And the funny thing was they're like, what's they were.
It's like Dreamcast all over.
Well, no, here's what happened. Like, so it's really funny because TG6, like, okay, so NEC royally pissed off EA. like they did this whole like conference thing where they're like, are you guys intelligent enough or smart enough to really, make games for a CD attachment for this console? And EA was like, do you know who the fuck we are? And they like walked out of the meeting. And so like NEC was like, uh-oh. so EA left because they were like basically offended. and so later on down the line when NEC's like, yeah, we need a Madden game. We really need a sports title like that. And what ended up happening was they couldn't get EA on board apparently or something along those lines. So they ended up just paying a giant sum of money to buy a license right to Madden for Hudson Soft to make a Madden game. Basically, is what ended up happening.
Did they ever make it?
Yeah. It came out. It essentially it never came out under.
Madden? Is that what it is?
No. It came out on the seat for the CD attachment, so it never came out for the standalone console.
Okay.
So it was like Madden Super CD or something like that. I can't remember the next exact name right now, but I'll have to look back through my notes.
It's crazy. There's so many like CD and like Super CD games for the PC Engine. I'd probably say way more so than the hue cards, right? So yeah, most of that stuff just never came out. All those like the weird arcade deals they had too, were like
for maybe
had,
for the PC Engine,
for the PC Engine, and it's a lot different from.
Yeah, so like maybe like for like the PC Engine CD attachment, yeah, probably, but not for the American version. Like there was a lot of stuff that did not come out.
Oh no, yeah. In Japan, like there's so many CD games, and some of the best games on the system are obviously for those Super CD-ROM more than the CD. The CD stuff kind of sucked.
This game's rough right now.
And also, Aaron Welsh says that little extra bit on the Street Fighter 2 hue card is just for appearances. That's bullshit. That's just they glued on a little piece of plastic to make it look like it's substantial. That's bullshit if that's true. Oh my god.
That'd be funny.
Look how hardcore this game is.
Let's sit in the corner and just spam the turbo button. I don't want to die.
I'll tell you what. I don't know about you, but one thing I do hate about that era is that everything became a fighting game. Like I don't hate Street Fighter 2 or anything. I actually really like Street Fighter 2, but it started that trend where like everything has to be a fighting game. Look at like Golden Axe, Double Dragon, actually Final Fight became a fighting game.
Ninja Turtles,
yes.
Power Rangers, Godzilla.
And it's so many shitty original fighting games, except for that wonderful game that you're a world record holder of, Rise of the Robots on 3DO. That's a wonderful fighting game out of that era.
As the world record holder, as the world speedrun record holder for Rise of the Robots on 3DO, I could definitely talk about that subject.
You know what? Let me give you an overlay so I can tout your accomplishments. let me make you an overlay for your stream, and that'll be the most prominent thing, covering up half the screen.
You got to put also like what would you call a person that has probably played Thunder in Paradise more than like the game developer?
Us. I wouldn't call that a person at all. I would say. Alright, that's something else.
Oh man,
that's the kind of entity that your parents warn you about when you're a kid. You better stay in line, Timmy.
Let's see here. Brooke just said off topic, but it came to mind for some reason. Any idea why the FX chip used in Donkey Kong and Star Wars or Star Fox was relatively cheap as opposed to the chip Sega used. I'm not sure exactly the cost difference there. All I know is that the one Sega used was a Samsung chip, which was it was overall like more powerful in terms of like 3D aspects. But I don't know why the FX chip manufacturing wise would be cheaper. But even then, like it was still like what, $75, or no, I guess no, it was like 59. Sorry, I made that video. I researched this like 2+ years ago.
Yeah, that was
Donkey Kong didn't. Donkey Kong just had it was just basically like they had pre-rendered CG graphics that they used. Like it didn't actually have any 3D effects in it, requiring an FX chip. But no, I don't know. Couldn't tell you about manufacturing-wise, but all I know is that the SVP was physically larger, which was a downside to its. It's pretty much anything. When you make anything bigger manufacturing-wise, there's some associated cost increase. Oh god, I hate this part. Ugh. You gotta hold the button and like do like a jump move over it. Yeah, Virtual Racing when it came out was like over $100.
It's kind of crazy thinking about it, but I was looking at some of my old releases, and somebody was at my apartment and was like looking at my AV Hanafuda unlicensed Famicom game, and it has the price on the side, and it was like 70-something bucks on today's standard, so a lot more back then, right? So probably about $100. But I was like, dude, let me show you some of the other games that I have, and like Final Fantasy VI in Japan, they have the price on the back of the box, and that was over $100 in today's money. So back then it must have been like 130, 40 bucks.
Man, I remember paying $75 to bring GoldenEye home.
Yeah, I remember. I think the first game I bought for N64 was Doom 64, and it was like $85. Oof. So those might have been Hawaii prices, and I bought it from a mom and pop shop, Toys and Joys, one of the greatest game stores ever made. No longer here, but yeah, those N64 games were ridiculous. Like 70, I think 60 was like a cheap game on N64 when it first came out. It's like you got Pilot Wings for $60 because it's Pilot Wings. One of two games you can get when it came out, maybe 2 or 3, right?
It was
Pilot Wings,
like
Mario.
Shadows of the Empire, Pilot Wings, and like Mario. I think were like the main ones.
I need to rebuy Shadows, man. I actually gave away Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, God, Shadows is growing on me now.
Yeah, it's now that you're set up, you can play it so it's not so dark, right? I think that was one of the.
I need to do a firmware update on my OSSC because I was trying to give myself a seizure the other day with the Super Nintendo. Now, let's check out Keith Courage for a minute because this game is just so freaking out there.
Okay.
Splatterhouse is kicking my ass today.
Keith No Courage Schaefer.
Ah, yeah.
Keith ruined the TurboGrafx chances in America, Schaefer.
I don't. Honestly, the NEC's failure managing the TurboGrafx, I feel like you can't compound that to any one individual in terms of like who takes responsibility for the overall failure. I feel like it was just a perfect storm of people not understanding the product they had.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense because NEC never had a really big presence in the States like they had in Japan. So,
like, I would argue NEC just never really had a very solid marketing division in the United States either. Like, so they had people who were doing their job good, selling like PCs for business applications and things like that, or like VCRs and maybe the occasional television. So they were doing decent there, but they never really developed or staffed a team of folks that could really handle marketing and selling a game console.
Do you think they just got a bunch of guys who used to be in a frat together and like, hey guys, we're like business guys?
Well, it was more like they literally looked through like their
business.
It was like they looked through their company registry and they're like, hey Dave, you worked at Atari, right? And he's like, well, yeah. They're like, how? They're like, you're coming to the toilet. You're coming to the game division. He's like, all I did was sell computers. They're like, no, you're selling game consoles now.
You hear about some of those parties they were having all the time at Atari too. It's like, yeah, I was just the cocktail guy.
Let's see.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Airwolf says SNES and OSSC can have problems on some TVs. Okay, so it might just be my cheap little 4K TV I have in here. Yeah, NEC is still around.
They're
They're still a huge. Like
you don't see their you don't
telecom.
see their name really like the way it used to be in like the 80s and I guess the 90s as like the big NEC. You won't see like commercials for them really on TV here in Japan, but they are still making everything.
Yeah, I mean they're still manufacturing a ton of crap, like lots of graphics chips, processors, all kinds of other stuff they're manufacturing.
Oh yeah. There you go, NEC
And,
displays,
and they still
monitors.
they still make monitors, yeah.
Yeah, they're not quite that big because they would have been like a Dell in like the 90s. How big Dell was in America.
Mm-hmm.
You could not fucking get away from NEC shit.
Yeah.
There you go, Keith Courage.
NEC processors. I can't think of the ones I'm thinking of, but I know NEC manufactured some type of processor and some other product. I could be wrong, but I know they manufacture some other stuff. Also, I have been drinking since 4 o'clock today, so keep that in mind. You know, when you can't go anywhere and all you've been doing is home renovations, you might be drinking.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect use for alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna keep playing the stream, or do you want to jump over on my channel and play some PlayStation?
Yeah,
we can do either way.
Yeah, dude. If you want to set up and stream for a bit, yeah, absolutely, we can jump to yours. If you want to just set up, well, we can just once you're up and running, I'll just link over.
Just asking.
Yeah,
in case you want to just kind of sit back and get more drunk and chit chat.
I love to get more drunk and chit chat. that is what I live for, sir.
Well, I'm
so
sorry.
not a CPU, but other chips. Okay, yeah, Zero Mancer's got me there. All right, PS1. Yeah, so NEC is just like they're still a big company. Like just, I guess, yeah, they've kind of fallen off the map in terms of like they're no Sony.
Yeah, their visuals. They're not going to be like a Sony or even like a Fujitsu. They're like a big a PC manufacturer still, and everybody knows who they are. But NEC's just yeah. You'll see a lot of times it won't have like the big NEC stuff prominently displayed, but if you like read the fine print and say, oh, this is NEC, cool.
Yeah, so like here's something I find really intriguing about Keith Courage as a pack-in title. I mean, I can't think of very many other like Western well, not Western games, but like other primary games that are your front leader. We have such dramatic changes in theme almost instantly. So it's kind of like, I feel like in the West, a lot of people probably weren't really exposed to mecha anime, like mecha genre stuff like that often. So this game, like this random change, like he's in a suit of armor fighting a giant gun thing, I feel like this would have been very jarring. Like, I don't know why.
He's a big robot.
I still like the funny thing is the only reason the only justification I found for they're talking about why this is the pack movie because they're like, oh, it just tested better with boys and girls. As opposed to, I don't know what that test score was, but I think NEC America had this fantasy of like, you know what, we can be the difference. We can bridge the gap between boys and girls and get them into the game space. And I think that's kind of a progressive concept, but I feel like for that era, I feel like that it just wasn't how it was.
Yeah. Little did they know that all they had to do was put in like a Bejeweled or Tetris segment in this game.
Oh, yeah, just like Tetris or some game where
could have got bonked with
like
Tetris.
God, if someone had made The Sims in this generation, I think they really could have. You build a house, all that stuff, like a Harvest Moon type title.
That'd be pretty sweet.
God, Harvest Moon's have you seen how much Harvest Moon goes for now?
The SNES one?
Yeah, it's like $250.
Dude, I remember even back in like the early 2000s, it was pretty up there. But actually, even back in like the 90s when it came out, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. In Japan, it's not that bad.
you're not that drunk. Fair enough.
You gotta get a little bit more drunk. You can get drunk later, so you can just sit back and drink more. But yeah, it's weird because it's like an old licensed anime game, and I don't know how much they changed from the original, if anything. But other than the names and obviously language, but
should have packed with Legendary Axe. It was all
Legendary Axe. Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff they could have done. Where like one of the Gama Sutra Gama Sutra.
Gama
Sutra. Like their main argument, like what they like to talk about, is the fact that like they had access to R-Type, which was a fantastic shmup, like side scroller shooter. Like, pretty freaking solid. Especially like on the TurboGrafx, the way that game was like just mint in terms of like how well it was put together.
Yeah, I have R-Type 1. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And so like they could have led with that, but like I guess like their issue where they're like, nah, we don't really want to like just cater to the hardcore arcade players. We want to, you know, boys and girls, go that way. And I guess with Keith Courage, they thought they had like a better freaking thing, but I'm like, ugh.
I guess it's kind of like more, and I guess back then like the whole platforming thing was taken off.
I drank 15 beers and do not have a buzz yet.
Jeremy Dixon, I think you're actually dead. I think you died. I think that's why. You might want to check your pulse.
I'm more than 3/4 of the way through a 5th of rum today, so that's how far I'm at.
See, Jeremy Dixon didn't disclose what kind of beers though. They were those was it like the 64s or the 58s or whatever the fuck they are, the really low calorie water beers. Then yeah, you need about 15,000 water.
I have a problem. Like when I'm in line at the supermarket and I'm buying beer or something like that, and someone buys like a case of Keystone, I'm like, "What are you doing? Hydrating?" I shouldn't give people shit about that.
Put a stock up during these times.
Well, it was like I was buying like a giant bottle of rum, and they're like, "Hey, you want a receipt?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna return it." So I'm like, "Why would I want a receipt?"
You might try to return it if you drink it all in one night.
Like,
come
this
back
bottle
later,
was. I'm like, this bottle was empty. I don't know why you gave it to me.
Yeah, you got empty bottle. I'll put it back. Here, hold on 1 second. Go to the bathroom. Here you go.
Yeah. But man, God, I love IPAs. They're fantastic.
Riding the silver bullet. Look, it's funny how like they have all the original. You would think if they're gonna change it to be all Western, they would get rid of these anime characters in the game, right?
Yeah, I feel like they would have. I don't know. They didn't really. I don't know if they're gonna localize it and make it kind of like a more Western game. They should have done like the whole Doki Doki Panic thing and just made it way more Western. And I don't know.
Yeah, that chick in that shop should have been an old woman with a pipe or something. It's like.
Wait, what's that? Interesting point.
Talking about like the robot aesthetic.
Oh,
because you had like Transformers, you had like Robotech, Voltron, but.
See, Ian, you're in the Northwest. You're a beer snob by proxy. I just like IPAs. I'm not a big fan of beer. But man, snob. I have some good buddies from the army who like I didn't realize they were such big beer snobs. I'm like, and I hate drinking beer with them because of how hardcore they're into the
craft stuff.
Well, they love to talk about the like the flavoring and what causes it. And I'm like, I get it, it's cool, but I'm like, man, that's just like not my thing.
How does it get me fucked up? Okay.
I know. I feel like that makes me feel trashy because I'm like, oh, I understand you would really appreciate the science and the craft behind this, but that's just not my thing.
Let's get like, oh, I could taste the aroma of some of the hops they put in. I was like, what the fuck? I aged this and that. I don't know what the fuck.
No, I mean, like there's a really there's an intriguing thing to there. It's just not.
Sure.
It's not my thing. I know. There's some folks out there that are really into it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You are. I'm like, man, I guess that's not my thing.
It's kind of a weird thing that's kind of come up because I remember when I was young, my dad had like a make your own kind of beer book, right? And I wish I would have read that when I was a kid, but it had all that information in there.
Yeah, you can thank you can thank Jimmy Carter for that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he was the one who allowed Americans to start microbrewing.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Jimmy. I have a crisis of conscience after I get fucked up on this bottle of.
Jeremy Dixon. Bender describes beer better than anyone. So many choices, yet so little difference.
That's about right.
Yeah, I know. Jeremy's pretty into making his own beer and all that.
I always think of what is it, Ink from Breaking Bad. It's one of the first times I remember seeing like a character in a show or anything making his own beer. It's like, oh, one of those guys.
Well, I just remember I was at I was with my buddies drinking beer, and we went to this place. It was like I don't know what it's called. It's like basically you just bring in a growler and you can buy like whatever beer you want for your growler. And this place, like, they have all these vendors coming in. They had this one. It was like these Black Bear Brewery or something. It was like a veterans place. And they were just doing all kinds of random shit with their beer. Like I thought it was really interesting because they did a thing where they shoved a bunch of jalapenos into a beer,
Ew.
So I don't know. It wasn't terrible. It was just very odd because it was like you could taste.
Yeah,
It wasn't spicy, but you could actually taste the capsaicin. Like you could taste like what would make it spicy, but it was deactivated. But you could like taste it as a flavor. It was really weird.
Is that kind of like drinking non-alcoholic beer, where it's like it kind of tastes like beer, but I don't.
No, I mean like they were pretty good at making it like high alcohol, so it didn't.
Okay,
didn't
I'm just saying like kind of weird. Like it was like this is a strange.
Yeah, it was. I guess like in terms of like it was like a roundabout way where you could taste the spicy, but like you didn't feel the spicy. It was really weird.
It is very strange.
Yeah, jalapenos
also, I was
don't
looking
sound
at
good. Yeah.
the demo right there. It's like even like the some of the enemies in this game, they have like the little Japanese lucky cats coming down. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of
those should have been like missiles or something. I don't know what the kind of aesthetic they were trying to go for.
Yeah, because I feel like there's just again like the way I stated was like it's like you have every card for a winning hand, but you just play them completely wrong.
Yeah, make Keith Courage is this, little happy-go-lucky little brat who's in some crazy world or something like that. Or if you're gonna make him into this like pro wrestling reject-looking guy who may be Native American or something with a laser sword, make this game like badass looking. Like turn those little spikes that look like your mom's nails, like turn that into like fucking fire, or like spikes with blood and shit. I don't know. So
yeah, it's like literally. I feel like the only thing they changed in this game was the title. Like, that was like all they did.
Yeah. Keep courage. Ah, boy.
Oh, really hard to make beer above 14%. See, it's something that I find really fascinating.
I guess that's why.
I remember I was at like where was I? I was on a work trip like back when I used to do like title fraud investigation, and like one of the guys was like he was utterly obsessed with just like we'd go on a business trip to go do like training for all the DMVs around the state, and he was just utterly obsessed with like the different food places, and so we would just go to these things, and then I would just use per diem and just buy beer and stuff like that, and just get really hammered while basically working. But I was at this one place where, like, I think, they were pushing, like, 14% on, like, their beer.
Damn.
They were calling it, like, it was some pun involving a floor, or something like that, was what they were calling it.
It's called Piso Mojado.
Mm-hmm. I remember doing that just because he was just such an odd guy.
All that talk, dude, all this talk about beer is making me miss beer already.
No, don't cave. Don't do it. You can not do it. But did you wanna get your stream set up, man?
Yeah. If you wanna join.
Hell yeah, I do, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I had it planned out for hours before this happened, but yeah, we'll play some PS1 action games and.
Nice. I'll put on while you're setting up. I'll put on Legendary Axe 2, which apparently has nothing to do with Legendary Axe. And we'll put that on.
Excellent.
I don't know. What I find what's even more fascinating about like the TurboGrafx was so like NEC's solution to the fact that they were behind in terms of like game console sales was like, you know what, we're just going to release more stuff. Don't worry. This is going to really encourage people to get back into the TurboGrafx thing. So they're like, we're going to release a CD attachment. We're going to release a handheld gaming apparatus at $250. And that's really going to encourage consumers to get in on this. It was, I don't know, I thought the Turbo Express was absolutely fascinating in terms of being the full console right there in your hand, as well as like playing the games from the console, which is pretty freaking cool. But I don't know, NEC has played their hand completely wrong. It's just amazing.
I think it's funny how it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna release all this really expensive shit that if people aren't interested in it now, they're definitely gonna want to spend $1,000 extra buying all of our stuff.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, Zero Mancer, I would absolutely love to get involved in a making
fist fight with Kieran Hawking.
Oh, that'd be way too easy. Let's not pretend that individual is capable of much.
He's very special.
No, honestly, man, if you want a fascinating read on Atari Age, there's a like 50-page fucking forum post or something like that now, talking about this guy and his transgressions. And it's just fascinating. This guy has manipulated, lied, connived, spread horrible rumors, used sock puppet accounts, been banned from just about every platform on the internet involving the retro community, and just somehow managed to like connive and weasel his way into the British YouTube community just because he's British and all that, and just lied. And it honestly, I feel like it should be a Netflix made-for-TV movie type thing. Just because that's how tragic the enemy bad guy would be in the story, and you're just like, wow.
I think maybe one day when this all settles down and you run out of videos to make, this should be your project.
Well, the funny thing is, there's already some videos about him that have been made. There's like 2 that are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they. It was one of the lines was. One of the lines was if Kieran Hawken told you that something was wet, and you could feel it was wet, you would still want a second opinion from someone else. Just based on. Yeah.
Isn't he still around though? He said he's still like.
He brought
Unquote kicking ass.
Oh, Kieran Hawken?
Yeah.
So he apparently brought back his channel, so he restarted that. But apparently he shut down his Twitter and all that. I sent the thing to his Twitter, just like calling him a coward, but it was like to one of his other like puppet accounts, because he had shut down his main Twitter account, but then apparently he activated it again, but then shut it back down. I'm like, all right, well, I guess missed my opportunity to send him something directly to tell him to go fuck himself. But yeah.
That's honestly best to like.
Are you still watching the stream right now?
What's that?
You still watching the stream?
Yeah, I'm still watching the stream.
You're gonna see something here. It's just like I love this dainty weapon because it's like he's carrying a purse.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Progressive. Legendary axe. Like, yeah, look what I got, guys. I got this one right over here.
Oh, sorry, Aaron. I'm talking about a guy named Kieran Hawken, who has been a bane of the retro community for like a decade or so. Just spreading lies, hate, malice, discontent. Essentially, he's the type of person that if he sees anyone being like remotely more successful than him or something along those lines, he's just awful person.
Very petty dude, it seems like.
Yeah, it's basically what I've read, and just based on the fact, like, when I see comments from him in like my comment sections, like attacking my videos, I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, it's this person. I don't know. I'm just like, if you're gonna be direct and like hate on someone on the internet, just be who you are and call someone out and take the associated heat with it. If you're gonna play that game, at least then you have some respectability. But if you're just gonna hide behind sock puppet accounts, it's kind of like, why? Well, you're just a coward at that point. It's like the anonymity of the internet just makes you a coward for the most part. So I'm like, why even? Yeah, that's just my thought. Oh, I forget there's no pause button, so every time I drink, I have to like risk my life in this game.
Setting up the stream real quick. I'm gonna be right back though.
Yeah, do your thing, man. But yeah, I'm assuming most of you in the stream probably know who, Are they Happy Socks? Wait, what? Can you see my... I don't think you can. Died. Damn it, I keep trying to pause it. Oh, okay, so select, not run, is a pause button in this game. Yeah, pause buttons were wimps. That's why the CBI put it on the console, so far away from you. I think once Jimmy starts his stream, I'm gonna pour another large drink. Oh. Damn it! I forgot about this thing. Oh god, this thing makes me think of the Californian raisins every time I. God, oh. Pause button. This is no, it's more like the pause button is just the select button on this game console, and that's kind of why. I should just kind of just stay right here. Yeah, you don't even need to move. You can just get that picture. Pausing during two-player competitive play is slightly less offensive than yanking their controller out of their hand. Well, I mean, Zeromancer, if you're on the 3DO, you could just, like, you know, unplug it from your controller ever so slightly. Is that a reboot of California Raisins? Oh man, great stuff. Welcome back, sir.
And I'm back. That's right. Let's see. Create stream. This is the PS1 Action Games Sober stream. Oh boy.
Oh no. You should.
Oh boy.
You should put
I don't think anyone's gonna show up anyway.
You should put your AAA token in the corner.
Oh god, AAA alcoholics, alcoholic assholes anonymous.
No, AA. Sorry.
No, I'm in AAA.
Yeah.
So.
No, I do a AAA. I need car service once in a while. That's what it is. Okay, I'm an alcoholic. Sorry.
Create the stream here and see if it actually.
Did I tell you I was like I went and got like all my like numbers tested and stuff like that, and like had like lab tests done. And I was talking to my doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, you know your liver numbers, all these are great." And I'm like, "Weird. Didn't expect my liver numbers to be great."
You guys have all the luck, man. I'm afraid to go to the doctor. I'm gonna get chest X-rays in a couple of days, though. Or maybe actually tomorrow. Shit.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
I'm super afraid.
The only thing I have is just I have bad cholesterol. That's it.
Okay.
I have like one type of bad cholesterol, and he's like, "Yeah, that sucks. You should fix that." I'm like, "All right." What do you recommend? He's like, dietary. Stop eating so much. Stop eating so much trash. No, he's like, yeah, eggs are actually fine for this.
Eggs are good. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a common myth of what I hear.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's one of those things. Like you can eat eggs, but eat them in moderation, like 2 or 3 a day type thing. Don't eat like a billion. And like don't eat as much animal fat, so like cut back on cheese and like pork. But it was just funny to me. My doc
should make sense. Yeah.
My doc was funny because I'm talking like how about alcohol? He's like, He's like some red wines can help, but he's like, but don't drink an entire bottle. I'm like, ooh, I should probably stop that.
Just a whole bottle or 5 beers.
Yeah, the doctor I go to, he's an old like Navy doctor, so he's pretty funny.
So he understands.
Well, it's funny because he's like he went through like the direct commission Navy Medical Service Corps where like they're really nice to him. He's like, yeah, you guys got all. He's like, yeah, I would go and sleep in my bunk while I watched you guys get yelled at. Made me happy, and I'm like, you bastards. So it's really funny. So I like him in that regard because he just talks shit. So I'm like, I like you. Wife and I only cook with olive oil and with his avocado oils, I think. Check that out. I've been like trying to go heavy back into olive oil, but my wife really likes butter, so I'm like, you're killing me, sweetie. But things just taste better with butter sometimes. Like a grilled cheese sandwich tastes so much better with butter than it does with olive oil. But I'll admit, like chicken, sometimes you cook that with olive oil, it tastes way better.
I will say that, yeah, I do love myself some butter.
Oh man,
it's something that has always, it's never gotten stale on me. It's butter, man. Ever since I was a kid, it's like I always wanted to just take a bite of that fucking butter in the fridge every time I saw it. It's so good.
Eating a stick of butter, damn.
He's eating a goddamn stick of butter.
God, that makes my heart hurt to think about it. Like
now when you think about it now, right? But you're kidding. You're invincible.
Oh yeah.
COVID-19 ain't gonna take you down.
Yeah.
This butters.
I mean, like, what? They're finding right now, like, pretty much, like, anyone under 14 or something like that, are really not, they're pretty much asymptomatic, right? They're not showing any signs of the virus.
Hmm?
For the most part.
It's a kill your daddy virus, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let's see this. How the hell did I find my?
I don't know, it was really interesting. Like, so during the Yahel stream, we had some. I had to like basically ban a bunch of people because they were like all crazy, like it's fake, blah blah blah. I'm like,
you got
like relax. Oh yeah, fried butter's the thing. Let's see here. Ian, drink more whiskey. Whiskey is good for you. The only alcohol that kills bacteria. Yeah, you know, I should probably switch to whiskey because I can disinfect from the inside. That's the smart way to do it.
I don't know how to find my.
I mean, my
stream link anymore. Oh boy.
Hmm? Oh, you trying to share your stream?
I usually watch it on the stream channel just to make sure it doesn't mess up because I don't trust the YouTube studio stuff.
Oh yeah, the new one. I really
terrible.
need to sit down and figure it out because I just haven't wanted to. Because like the one time I did try it, I'm like, what am I doing? It's awful. Who designed this? It's like a stream interface designed by Mercedes.
It was designed by Twitch. I don't want anybody to use streaming on freaking YouTube.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, the Twitch is like, no,
we'll help.
No competitors to our platform.
It really is awful.
Should have given more clothes.
Here you go. Set my stream for 4 p.m., but I can always change that. There you go. An error occurred. Well, that sucks.
Remember, you gotta know basic HTML to stream on YouTube these days.
Oh god, it really is a clustercluck. I know, like, once you get used to it, though, it'll be like, oh, this is much better than the last system, but then you're gonna forget how simple the last system was.
I don't know what motivated their change to this new system. I'm like, what? Who is this benefiting?
Never makes sense. It's very cliche to be like, if it ain't break, don't fix it, whatever. But honestly, it's like every time there's a change here, like remember the Google Plus thing? That
went over so well.
That was the worst. I think that ruined YouTube in a lot of ways. Just that forced integration.
I don't know. It made me really happy when that like failed miserably though. I'm like, this suck at YouTube.
You would have thought that they would be like, okay, you know what? We got to actually like make intuitive like user interfaces and everything. No, fuck you.
Oh, hey Juan, how's it going, man? Greetings from Colombia.
He's from Colombia.
So Juan, I'm going to be streaming for a little bit longer, but I'm going to be putting a stream over to my buddy Jimmy Hoppa, who's in the chat with me. And he streams primarily Japanese stuff, so that should be pretty fun to transfer over to.
Hopefully.
God, there's so much. There is so much stuff I need to like. I need to tap into Stika more and just look into the Brazilian market because I'm like so curious about that.
Yeah, right. It's just a lot of things that nobody really ever talks about, right? Just stuff that you'd be like blown away. A lot of it, I'm sure, is probably pretty bad.
Oh man,
a lot of these Master System games, but yeah, it's interesting, right?
So Zero Manthers has hit maybe 190 proof Everclear. Oh man, I remember the last time I drank Everclear, we did it was like a Halloween party, like 9 years ago or something like that at my house, and we went and bought like it was like 9 bottles of Everclear, a bunch of bottles of vodka. And we filled up like a 50-gallon fish tank we bought at a thrift store, and we made jungle juice.
Jungle juice.
It's like you mix all that, you pour all that like the vodka and Everclear into a fish tank. Then you pour a crap ton of fruit juice. You throw a bunch of pineapple in there. You throw dry ice in there.
Random fucking shit.
And then like you charge like $10 at the door when people come to your house to party with you, like to drink out of the jungle juice. And like we had people trying to fight each other. It was so bad.
People going back to those jungle roots, man. They're turning into chimpanzees.
They were, yeah. Like God, people were like, I had like 2 people. I'm like, you need to leave right now. Like having to kick them out of the house. And like they're like super drunk strong. And you're like, oh God.
Oh no, the one where it's just like nothing. My own safety doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm like you need to go.
Aside from your naked guy in this game, though, this is a pretty sweet looking game.
Yeah, I guess for the era, yeah.
Would have been cool. This would have been cool. Like it's like, hey guys, we ain't that kitty shit. We've got legendary.
Do you like Conan the Barbarian? It's a cool game we got.
Yeah, I really liked Conan the Barbarian, but what I needed more of was seeing his like thong back bikini under his other loin cloth.
That was a crucial part of the film. I don't know why you're saying.
I guess I'm hating.
I don't know why. I don't know why you're being sarcastic about it. I mean, geez.
I'm sorry. Just I've had too little to drink. I don't know why.
You're so angry. You need to drink more.
Damn it.
Is your stream ready to go yet, man, or no?
Yeah, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Oh shit, got Gorilla Jones in here. Hey, Gorilla, we're switching over to Jimmy's stream right now. So if you don't mind, hey Jimmy, do you have the link to your stream?
Yeah, let me throw that in.
Yeah, let's just throw it in the chat really quick, because I'm gonna end mine and we'll jump over to Jimmy's here. What is a boss? Yeah. I don't know why all the bosses look like
Conan the Librarian.
I don't know why all the bosses in this game look like they're from California Raisins. That's what kind of bugs me about this thing. Alright, let me go ahead and switch over to yours.
I got waved by Jeremy Dixon. Jeremy Dixon actually wants to join the chat this time.
Oh, shit.
Looks like.
Yeah, get him in here.
Alright, we'll throw him in here.
Alright, well, thank you guys very much for dropping by and watching my stream. I really appreciate it. So you guys have a fantastic day, evening, or night, but make sure to jump over to Jimmy Hoppa's stream here. So I'm going to go ahead and end mine. You guys have a fantastic night.